Right, yeah. Well, it depends what tomorrow's going to be like when you have all that hot soy sauce and stuff coming through. But speaking of which, I'm going to go. I'm going to go get my eModels mug and a cup of water, and then so you guys could say hello to everybody.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, you swine! Darn it! How long have we been live?
I'll be back in a minute, everybody. Back in a minute.
Hey everyone, it's Fox here.
Hi, it's Chris here as well. I was expecting more from you than that. It's just
we need to listen again. Welcome to the eModels. I'll do Ted's bit. Welcome to the eModels live stream Monday night, 9 PM. Me, Chris, Ted, Fox, Chris, me, Ted, and I. As always.
He's back. He's back. There we go. Stop.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, you can't. It's part of the contract. You can't do a live stream without the eModels mug, which you get a chance. You guys out there get a chance to win shortly, later on, whenever. If we remember. But good evening, everybody. Welcome to Monday night's mayhem and madness. From me, Ted at eModels.co.uk, and him, Fox with 1X.
Hello.
We've already introduced ourselves. You don't need to worry about that. It's fine.
2 X's, 1 F.
I usually get 2 X's, 2 Fs, and
yeah. But then there's the arrest warrant, and then it takes ages to come off your record.
Am I in black and white?
You're very pale. Yeah,
it looks like black and white. Yeah, I had a few technical issues, as you say. I'm pressing on the wrong buttons, and it seems like my colour's not rendering properly on my camera at the moment. Before, though, there was lines all over the place, so think yourself lucky you haven't got
lines. It's a bit pallid, but it's just like he's broadcasting live from Scotland or something. So
yeah, that's it. Yeah, up here we don't have any colour. We're just pallid
and cheap.
So I'm sort of in black and white. I won't try and mess with any settings. You can tell it's orange because Seaguard's up here. He's got an orange beak.
Don't forget, Ted, the blue ball is behind the pink.
The blue ball, yeah. I'll try and find something a bit more colourful to put behind me so you can see that there is colour. No, it's
transparent.
Just looks black and white.
Bless. Do we need to sit you down with the colour wheel again?
Yeah.
This is very small. This cow is a long way away.
Yeah. And also, we've done Fox down here wherever.
Regularly, thank you.
I know it's over to him.
Over the other side, me.
Hey, what's he called again? Chris. Yeah, I've got to read the label up there. Chris. Yeah. We see we've got an eModels video up from you this week.
Yeah, I put one up last week on Sunday. Yeah.
Update us with everything. Tell us everything.
I have plain. It's all together. It's all glued together. It's big. It's still 144, but quite big. I think it was together last week, but not primed. This has now been primed, and I've found some big seam lines on wings and things, so I've filled them with some Sprue glue. I need to sand that down, reprime it, and then get on with putting some colours on.
Yeah, it's more of an exercise, I think, in colour, in painting, isn't it? Rather,
well, I'm very worried about that bit there, which you might not be able to see. That's just a very fine little pointy aerial thing, and these little bits on there as well, which are like little antenna claw things. I know they're there at the moment, but whether they're going to be there in a week's time is,
It's like the wing mirrors.
It's like your wing mirrors, yeah. Are they still there?
It's a technical.
I took the mirrors off my skitter. I was like, I was sick of trying to get around them, and because they're right here, and I'm like, I'm trying to paint, and I'm like, I'm gonna break them. So I just snapped them off. I'm like, you know what? Just forget it. I took the bull by the horns and bit the bullet.
Right. For me, I've been busy as well, and one of the reasons my camera is all sort of messed up is because I've had it altered and adjusted for videoing, because I've been getting on with some videos, and the videos I've been getting on with is the next part of the U-boat submarine. Actually started work on the hull. Got all the rear running gear sort of ready to be installed and masked off. Decided the way I'm going to go is to mask off sections of the submarine so you can see through the rear, see through the the side of the hull and paint the rest of it. So there'll be little windows so you can see inside. That's the way I'm going to go. So I've been doing that. I've also found that when I did, some of you may remember I did that desert diorama a few weeks ago. I found that is quite helpful if you've got a huge build on like this. If you've got a long-term build, it's quite nice. And I found it was quite nice to have a little side build going at the same time. Which it keeps the mojo going for the big build and gives you just that little break from it. So what I've been doing, I've been building the AEC Matador, which is an AFE club kit, once again from eModels.
I remember you picking that up when we first went to eModels to drop your time.
Lovely little kit. It goes together beautifully. A lot of fancy, fine details on it though, which tend to ping across the room quite a lot. So yeah, I thought I'd get on with that as well, just as a side build to this, just to sort of when the paint's drying on the big boats and glue's drying and things are sitting, I've got something else for getting on with, so it keeps your motivation going.
Ted likes big boats and he cannot lie. So.
Yes, I do. So that's what I'll be going on with, and hopefully in the next few days I'll get the rest of this U-boat video finished, and it will be part 8. Not 10, 8.
Coming together now, Ted, isn't it?
Coming together. And speaking of that, I've only got about 10 more pieces to cut off the sprue. Then there's no more cutting off and gluing.
Wow.
There's
like a 6-foot tall pile of sprues behind you that we can't see on camera.
Right, Michael Jackman did ask me, is it possible to build the star lifter with the ramps and nose open? Not on this kit, no. There are no. It's 144 kit. Although the plane itself is absolutely huge, this one doesn't have any parts for that. You'd have to cut them open and do them. It's got landing gear, but that's the only bit that's sort of separate on it. So no, sorry.
Just a reminder to everybody, talking about chat. Obviously, throughout the course of the night, we'll be interacting with the guys in the chat because this is the live stream. If you're watching on emodels.co.uk/live or anywhere else, you can click on the little YouTube icon in the bottom right hand corner of the video player, and that will take you to the YouTube page where you can actually see the chat live. And we encourage you to do so because we do give stuff away to people in the chat. Plus, we depend on chat to give us stuff to talk about. Otherwise, this would be a 10-minute show. So
yeah. And we are liable to sort of divert off and talk about other things other than modelling. So yeah,
liable as in quite likely. Yeah,
as in it's in our contract.
It's it's going to happen.
Yeah. As always, Chris is our chat dolly for the evening. If you want to ask a question, please, for the love of God, do. But just make sure to put it in big fat capital letters so we can see it, because chat does move quite fast. There is also the super chat option if you're really feeling like you want to do that. You click the little dollar symbol at the bottom of the chat and it'll pop up your question in a big blue or pink or red box, and none of us can even begin to miss it. You don't have to do that, but it's purely optional. Public message.
Just before the chat disappears and moves up, there's an announcement there from Adrian David. Adrian.
David.
It says Ted Criddon Fox is on a high as he's just landed a new full-time job. Well done, man.
Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations. Yeah, it's a nice feeling to get yourself a job. Speaking of which, next week.
Job?
Yeah, speaking of which, I'm back at work next week as well, doing the seasonal work on the Lake Windermere.
Back on the boats. Skipper
Ted. Back on the boats. Skipper. So if anybody's in the Lake District, nip up to Windermere, hop on one of the steamers, and ask for Ted. They all know me.
Which one are you on, Ted? Are you allowed to say?
I believe I'm going to be on the Swan. What I'm doing, I don't know, but I'll find out when I get there.
You're the karaoke act. Did you not know that?
I'm the karaoke. Yeah. I'm the one that stands on the front saying, "Get out of the way! Get out of the way!" Won't coming through.
William Daniel asks, "What is Sprue goo?" Because I mentioned it about the thing. Fox is the one to explain that. He does it lovely.
Yeah, I've got some here, but I can't find it. There it is.
Where's mine?
Yeah, you've got to have a bottle labelled Sprue goo.
So have I. Almost the same handwriting.
Yeah.
Sprue goo is a wonderful invention made up by a person once. When you know what it is, it's blindingly obvious, but until you know what it is, you'd never thought of doing it. If you're like me and you hate doing filling with fillers because they're a pain in the bum, sometimes you might have a little bit of an ejection pin hole or a little tiny gap between two parts, or just something that needs a little bit filling, but not much. And it's a real pain to get out the filler and start mixing it together and doing all that faffing about and leaving it for weeks to cure. What you can do is, if you get yourself a pot of Tamiya extra thin. Has to be Tamiya extra thin. I'll get the right label showing. And get yourself either some just bits of plastic sprue from a kit that you're working on, or any kit you've got, any bits of plastic sprue. Or if you've got some plastic card lying around, the polystyrene plastic card, get some of that, cut it into lots of little tiny pieces, and just very technical this. You have to pay attention. What you do is you just dump them in the jar. Just dump a load of them in. I do it when it's full. Dump a load of polystyrene in there, so little bits of sprue and spare little bits of kits you're never going to use. As long as it's polystyrene, dump them in there and leave it for about an hour and come back. And what you'll find is if you put enough in, it will take on this wonderful consistency of, I don't know if it'll come out on camera, but if you put enough in, it won't drip. It'll just kind of form a blob and hang like that. That's the kind of consistency you want. What you've basically made is liquid polystyrene in suspension. What you do is if you've got your little gap in a panel or a little pinhole or something like that, you just brush it over. So say there's a little hole here. You brush it over so you get a bead of it like that, and you leave it for 24 hours to dry. And what happens is, because it's Tamiya extra thin, the glue evaporates away, it flashes off and goes away, and it doesn't leave anything behind apart from the polystyrene, which has now filled your gap and filled the hole. And then you can sand it and you can sculpt it and you can scrape it. And the reason it's really good is it's dead easy. It costs you a pot of glue and some bits of plastic. And the one thing it's got over most fillers is you can use your panel line, your scribing tools to go through it, because unlike fillers where you drag a scribing tool through and it might go a bit crumbly and horrible, it's just polystyrene. You've just filled plastic with plastic. So it's just as sculptable and scribable as the rest of the kit. So if you're looking for a filler that's somewhere between a proper putty filler that you might need for really big gaps and some of the thinner fillers, that's hard to say, make yourself some Sprue goo. It's my absolute friend. It's just the best way to fill seam lines that I've found, because I'm lazy and I can't be mixing up putties, and it's far too much fun.
Kenneth there asks there, do we have to use a certain brand of model for Sprue goo? No, just any polystyrene.
Yeah, any polystyrene. Make sure it's polystyrene. If you're using bits of old, I'm going to say it, so somebody's going to win this sweepstake, and I've got no choice. If you're using bits of old, no, actually, I'm not going to say it. If you're using bits of a Bandai kit, you see, if you've got like bits of old sprues from Bandai kit, make sure it's polystyrene and not ABS. ABS won't work. You're filling a polystyrene hole and polystyrene kit with polystyrene in glue. So if it's offcuts and bits from a Bandai kit, just look through the instructions and make sure it says PS next to the picture of the sprue in the instructions. But other than that, most kits you're absolutely fine. Or you can just use plastic card. I've got loads of bits of old plastic card offcuts that I just cut into tiny little bits. You might need quite a lot. And what I would say is, because this stuff gets you all woozy and headachy after about 10 minutes, get a load of little pieces, dump them in, close it and leave it for half an hour. Come back and see if it's thick enough. If it's not, just dump some more in. The trick is you need to be able to get it on the brush so it blobs, but it doesn't drip off. Because if it's too thin, it won't fill the gap. It'll just run down the sides of your model. You want it to make a bead over the hole and then go hard, and it'll fill the gap. It's brilliant stuff.
It's one of them. It's one of them things that you might not use it for weeks and weeks and months, but when you do need to use it, it's the stuff.
Mm. It is, and the other beauty of using it is, because Tamiya is a welding cement. As I've said before many times, Tamiya isn't a glue that sits between two pieces of plastic. It actually gets into the gaps between the plastic, and when it evaporates away and leaves nothing behind, the plastic has melted and welded together. So what it does is, when you've got a little gap or a panel line, it goes in there, taking polystyrene with it, it melts the plastic around it, and all the plastic on your kit and all the plastic in the Sprue goo fuses together to become one single piece of plastic, which is why you can get with a scribing tool and put panel lines and things through it. It's brilliant. It's absolutely great.
Yeah. Yeah. So, if anybody else has got useful tips out there, just drop them in, because we forget what useful tips are. Yeah, there's all sorts of.
It's one of those things. There's so many things in model making that when you think about them, they're really obvious, but you never would have thought to do it. I mean, if you think about, I'm going to fill a hole in a polystyrene with more polystyrene, that's kind of really obvious.
Yeah,
but you wouldn't think to do it unless somebody told you about it. And you'd be like, that's a good point.
What else?
Terry says he was hoping you were going to say Japanese mechanized robot suit. or Transformers. So,
Not
yeah.
Transformers.
Robots.
I managed to find, stop it, Ted. I managed to find a way out of saying that word, so nobody won the sweepstakes so far.
It's the only thing, Bandai kit that eModels sell, though, isn't it?
The only one the eModels sell.
So what is it that they sell?
Oh, the kits are available.
It doesn't count saying that word if you're prompted.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, actually,
it's just if you say it unsolicited.
Yeah, well, you see, I will then give a potential sweep. Like, for those that don't know, there's a group in the chat that have like a jokey sweepstake every week, whether I will say the word, and I'm going to say it because I'm going to talk about them. Gumpler.
Yeah.
But I thought it may as well break that rule to mention that for those of you who don't know, eModels do now sell Gumpler. There's a whole section on the website, so go into the menu at the top and look up Gumpler. Yes, they sell Gumpler. Tons of stuff in there. Go and have a look. I got myself an HG ground type GM from there. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've got one. If anybody could see it around somewhere, I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
You seem to have upset Mike Mounting because he had 14 minutes apparently, and we're at 17 minutes now. So
is it 17? Oh yeah, sorry about that, Mike. Colin at Festa 67 Workshop says, Fox, who was? Yes, you know who you are.
Yeah.
We know we should actually have a proper sweepstake.
Evil Monkey 1979 has got a tip for us. He says, don't wee on an electric fence.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Don't lick the plug. That's always a good one.
Yeah. We used to do a similar sort of thing when we were in the training school as electricians. I don't know if anybody out there, there's any electricians out there. We used to have what was a wind-up machine. We call it a wind-up mega. What you do, you wind it up and it produces a high voltage, but it doesn't produce any amps. So you get there, you get sort of like 2,000 volts through it. And we all stand in a line holding hands, and then somebody will wind it at the end, and the shock would go right through everybody until the guy at the end would go, ow! And he'd jump off. Yeah, so, yeah.
Oh, the fun you have when you work in the electrician.
There was always a guy at the end. How we found these things out, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just glad you never worked in a munitions factory, Ted, because I would hate to hear the stories of that, guys.
Yeah, we did make sort of other things. We did make steam engines, and I must admit, even somebody in the shipyard used to make explosives. I don't know who that was, but
what did you do at work today, dear? Well, there may have been a Van de Graaff generator and potentially a small cat. Anyway,
there isn't a cat anymore.
Yes, there was a cat at one point. Zanster says it's the volts that jolts, but the mills that kills.
That's it. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, excellent. Andrew Thatcher says Ted got a new wig. I haven't quite got a new wig. You know, I just haven't had it cut because if you guys out there didn't know, I'm selling the house, and this week it got sold. Somebody made us an offer, so we've been dashing around this week trying to look for people to give lots of money to, called solicitors.
Not voluntarily.
I thought you meant Ted was still living in the shed, although he'd sold the house, and he hasn't told them yet that he's still there.
Yeah. I'm afraid this comes with it's part of the deal. You get this bloke in this shed. He's all right. He just eats he just eats Rustler's burgers every
and
now.
Wi-Fi.
The new keepers keep going in and said that guy's still in that shed.
Like bloke and a chicken. I don't know what goes on there.
Mike Mountain says, don't mention we or Fox will be off. No, we made sure he went before we started.
I did go before we started. Doesn't guarantee I won't go halfway through. I'm an old man. What can I say?
Mike Mountain, obviously electrician there, or a subject of electrician's mischief. And also speaking of wheeze, had a wee against a cast iron drain pipe with a mega connected at the next drain pipe. Yeah. Oh yeah, we used to get up to all sorts in the shipyard. They were the days when you didn't have to do any work, but fortunately, 2,000 people trying not to work.
Wait, that's British Leyland.
Is that why things used to take so long to get built?
Yeah, that's it. I reckon if as much effort was put into building submarines as people did for skiving and doing nothing, they'd have built submarines in half the time at half the cost.
Yeah.
But that was the 80s for you.
Yeah. Well, like I say, welcome to British Leyland, where every day is Friday afternoon.
Yeah. Just hope I don't go to sea in the submarine that was built on a Friday afternoon.
I'm pretty sure it was British Leyland that was the route of the term Friday afternoon car.
Mm-hmm.
If you get in the old days, if you got a car that was particularly shoddy and falling apart, not very well built, it was always known as a Friday afternoon car because it was made on a Friday afternoon when nobody cared and they would get down the pub. Kind of cobbled it together and slapped it on the production line.
There used to be minis. I believe that what it was, that the workshops were on one side of the road and the paint shops were on the other side of the road. This was before automation. And you used to see trailer loads of unpainted, unprimed steel cars sat out in the rain, and then next week they would be dragged across the road, just the paint thrown on them without any priming. So no wonder your cars used to fall a bit. But that's British engineering and workmanship.
Yeah, British Leyland.
British finest.
Yeah.
Austin Maestro, what more do you need to say to end the conversation there?
How do you keep your hands warm pushing an Austin Maestro?
I like that. And what I want to know is, right, here's one for people who know the British cars. Why is it? I know they're Rovers, but Metros, right? Rover Metros. Whenever they broke down, why was it always that the front axle had snapped? You always saw them on the road like that, and the wheels would be like that, and it's like, what is it in the design that always makes... I've never known an axle snap on a car ever, apart from in Metros, and it was all... And they weigh like a gram.
Yeah. Or they just rust before your eyes.
Yeah.
You come out in the morning and the car would be just a pile of rust.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't go to work today, the car's rusted.
Yeah. Sorry, it's all seized up again.
It was all right yesterday, but now, yeah.
Do you want some car with your rust?
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm going to have to do when I move house. Because I learned to drive in the 80s and early 90s, I've still got a load of stuff like axle stands and ramps and sort of tubs full of grease and things, because the cars them days were always on the axle stands with the wheels off.
Well, Colin at Festa 67 says CV joints, Fox. I know, but nobody else had that problem, and I had CV joints on my Land Rover, and they never broke. It was the diff that went on my Land Rover. Robert Blaylock says Jeremy Clarkson always said that British workmanship is that'll do.
That'll do.
It's true.
Yeah.
Dave Barker says the Austin Allegro was the same. I had an Austin Allegro. That was my first car. It didn't have brake and axle.
Mm-hmm. Didn't have brakes, did it?
It didn't have brakes. It did stop sometimes.
Did it have an engine or anything?
It had an engine, and it had a big dent in the side when I finished with it as well. But we won't talk about that.
Trot and Chad says with British cars, you just used to build them till the 6th episode, then they'd leave them.
Yeah.
See what you did there.
It's never going to leave me, that, is it? It's hanging around like a bad smell.
But there wasn't. You could possibly escape from it by making a 7th episode.
Yes.
No, the factory's not big enough.
You don't need to make a short 7 episode.
You don't need to make the whole thing. Just the 7th episode. It's only going to be that much bigger than the cockpit. You'll be
episode 7 could just be saying there is no episode 7.
Here is episode 7. Look forward to episode 8. Bye, folks.
Yes. I work on geological time.
Right. So what else have we got? What else is everybody saying in the chat? There's a lot.
No.
If you're new in the chat, if it's your first time in the chat, give us a hello, and we'll give you a shout out. We'd like to wish all our new people a welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Adrian David said,
we're all talking at once. If you're going to ask a question, make sure to put it in big fat capital letters so Chris can see it.
Yeah, I can move closer to the screen, but then I'll move closer to the camera as well, and it gets scary for you, so I won't do that.
Really close up. Aren't we on somebody's like 78-inch TV like we did last week? We do a close up again. Hello on the other end of that TV.
Yeah, and it's okay, everybody. You can set your clocks, because I've set my chair to the highest point. So by the time it goes down, I'm at the bottom of the screen.
I've got a little mark on my screen for when his head gets that low. We've got to go.
Yeah,
got a little head-up display.
Adrian David said the eModel sticker's still holding his Ford Focus together. So,
that's all that used to hold up together was vinyl and stickers.
Yep. Randy Welberg says, "Hi guys, I watch you most weeks, but don't say much. Love the show. Thank you, Randy."
Yeah,
Kenneth M says, "Hello, Kenneth. You're an old regular. You're not a newbie at this. You're part of the family. Mike Mountain, you're part of the family as well."
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we know who you are. Yeah.
Festa 67 says, "Question: Where's Tony, aka Dougal?"
Yeah, poor Tony. It's busy man. As you know, he works in the NHS, so he never gets any time off. He lives, eats, and sleeps there.
You may have noticed he's been added to the cartoon image on the thing. He's there with the one with the face going, "I like big boats and I cannot buy." But sadly, he just never gets a chance to join us because he works the silly hours.
Yeah.
We keep working on him. We'll get him on the show one day.
Yep.
Smooth Workshop's got a question for Fox. I've heard that your beard has been made a site of interest by ornithologists, as you're the puffin lord. There's some found nestling in your beard.
Yes, they're not nestling; they're renting.
You're charging them.
Yeah, I've got to make my income somehow. They're my minions. They're my subjects. I have to make some tithe off them to make an income. So yes, there are many. Like they found that colony of penguins in Antarctica or somewhere recently by looking on the satellite image and seeing all the poo, all the guano. Well, on mine you could just see the beard moving. That's how you know the puffins are on the move.
Jamie Bone says hi guys, it's my first time in chat, and Ted sent you a question in the emails.
Yeah, I've got that, Jamie.
Your phone's charged and ready and going.
We've got around to that. Hopefully, if the phone doesn't die, we'll get one. In fact, we'll do it now.
Have you plugged your phone in, Ted? So it's not.
I plugged the phone in, but I haven't turned the. Hang on.
Oh, don't unplug something now because it's.
I haven't plugged. Yeah, I plugged the phone in, but I haven't. Yep, that's it. I've turned the extension lead on now.
Every time you press a button, either your microphone stops working, or you drop off the internet, or you give me a moment every time you do that. Ted.
So now the phone is charging. Yeah, it's it. I think. Yes. Right. Yeah. Jamie Bourne's question. We'll do that now because we'll get some questions. Hi, Ted and Fox. A question for Fox. What number comes after 6? Yeah, you in the chat and he's asking that one already.
Hang on. Is it F?
I don't know. I'll Google it.
No.
Google it. Yeah.
G. Yeah. G comes after 6.
10 comes after 6.
Is it not 0.5? 0.2?
6 and a bit. Yeah.
6. Yeah. 6 and a little bit extra. Yeah.
Me for some reason. Go away.
He also wants the best way to weather a 1720 scale aircraft carrier of the USS Enterprise from Revel. Is that Star Trek?
No.
It's an aircraft carrier.
Aircraft carrier. Ah, right.
CVN 65.
But well done for spotting the Enterprise word.
Yes, very good.
Yeah, Jamie, there's a kit out here somewhere. There's a kit around here somewhere, a paint kit for weathering ships.
Yeah, but if it's 720, you're not going to need to do any streaking.
No, you're not going to do. Yeah, I mean,
I'd probably say there's not really any weathering you can do on a ship.
It's going to be the impression of weathering rather than actual streaking and stuff.
It's probably more just a case of doing what little bit of pre-shading you can around any kind of the right panel line.
Could do a water line, but something like that, a little 170 20 scale chip is more designed to go on a desk as a display item. So it'd be nice.
I mean, what about that big? Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably won't do anything. I mean, you could do a very, very, very light wash. So whatever color you say you've painted the hull, let's say you use, I don't know, pick a color, neutral gray, let's say. Then you could do a very light wash with that neutral gray and just a tiniest bit of a slightly darker color, like a slightly darker bluey gray or something, or a touch of blue, just to give a real tiny, slightly darker shade, just to go in the recesses as a recess shade. But even then, it's like, that might be a bit, even if it's only a touch darker than the original base color, it might be too dark. You've got to think about the scale. Some things, when they're reduced down to a really small size, you can't do too much because then they just start to look ridiculous.
Yeah. They become toyish more than models, really, don't they? They go back to being a toy.
Yeah.
So hopefully that will help you out, Jamie. But have a think about what you want to do with it. But something of that small, usually nice and shiny, as just a sort of a desk decorative item.
You're a desk decorative item.
Yeah, desk decorative.
Smooth Workshop has a question for us. When using zero paints, a friend got crazing on the model. What caused this?
It's because
he didn't use zero paints myself, so I don't know.
He actually said 0 pints. So
yeah, he did. But I think
you should always use beer.
Always use 0 points.
It's lack of
pints.
more beer, and you can forget about the crazing. The crazing becomes irrelevant. Northwest Models answered that for you. He said too high spraying pressure and not allowing the coats to dry, which is probably the case. Yeah,
is zero one of them ones that you have to do the very thin mist coats?
Are they acrylics or lacquers, or what are they?
I think they're a lacquer, aren't they?
If they're a lacquer, you can't spray them on top of any other kind of paint ever. That might be if you spray them on top of, say, an acrylic paint. The reason you get that kind of dry lake bed crackling, which is known as alligatoring, is because you've got 2 layers of paint, and one underneath is drying at a different rate to the one above. So while this one is contracting and drying, this one is contracting at a different rate, and it pulls the paint apart. That's why you get the difference. So if you spray a lacquer on top of, well, it's kind of hard to explain. I sprayed some Tamiya clear orange on top of a gloss coated piece once, and it did that because the gloss orange couldn't get, or the clear orange couldn't get the surface tension right on the glossy surface. It was a surprise.
Kenneth says they're a hot lacquer.
Yes, in that case, it's either because he did multiple coats and didn't allow them to fully dry, so one is still moving around while one's on top and it can't form a crust, or he sprayed it on top of an acrylic or something else, or an enamel that hadn't fully cured. Or is the thing with lacquers is lacquer will eat any other paint, so you can put any paint on top of a lacquer, but you can't spray lacquer on top of any other kind of paint, otherwise you'll just get sadness.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I suspect it depends what you painted it on top of, and if you did multiple layers, he didn't let the first one dry fully.
Yeah, you need, what often happens is you get used to your acrylics and you spray them in 10 minutes to dry. You try to do the same thing with your lacquers and things like that, but you've got to sort of have a bit more patience with them. Sit back overnight, let them dry, let them go off, let them go hard, because they might be dry, but they haven't cured.
Yeah, it might be crusty on the top. I mean, the thing with lacquers is they do dry very fast, and if you work in very thin, misty coats and build the colour up, you can go quite fast. But if you put a thick coat on there, you need to make sure it's fully cured, because even if the top is touch dry, the bottom might still be gloopy, and that's movement. So you try building a Jenga tower on a moving table, it's not going to happen. Same principle.
Well, that's weird. Lots of folks in tonight.
I can't see how many, but Trout and Chard has come up with the eModels Live Bingo. He says you score points for episode 6, Puffin, Ted Unfocused, 80s, 70s, Ted's Hats, Gunpla, Space Marines, 1 to 144, the Bat Phone, and Cheese and Onion.
Yeah.
So any of them count. I've just read them out. But.
Next week you could get a square piece of paper, divide it into 9, write different phrases in there, and bingo. Yeah. Let us know when you got bingo.
Although that means Chris wins the prize tonight because he just read them.
Because I just used them all. Yay!
Yeah.
All right.
Mike Mountain says there are 122 people watching. So hello, 122 people.
122 people. That's
Kenneth says lacquers need to gas off, which is a good point. Yes, they do. Because they're a solvent-based paint, the solvent has to work its way through the paint. And there's 3 things that can happen to paints. They can either get alligatoring, which is where you get that crackled dry lake bed. You can get orange peel, where it looks like a golf ball, it's all uneven, and that's because the surface hasn't cracked, but it's not been able to dry evenly. Or you can get what are called fish eyes, where you get little dimples in your paint, little circular bits, and that's where gas bubbles have come out and gone through the paint because it's been put on too thick. And a coat underneath is still releasing gas. So yes, if you're going to do thick coats, give it 24 hours between. If you're doing misty coats, you can give it half an hour between. But with lacquers, if you're doing thick coats, each thick coat needs at least 24 hours for all the solvents to stop coming out.
Yeah.
That says we missed out the 2 times more shine.
2 times more shine.
Any other suggestions for things that need to go into the eModels Live Bingo?
Trout and Chard says, gas bubbles.
It's a bit of schoolboy humour coming out there.
It's just there's no way to write.
Smooth Workshop says, can we get a shout out tonight? Yeah, we could always get a shout out for his bestest buddy Colin Wilkinson. Festus 67 Workshop is going in for major surgery on Wednesday. So yeah, good luck.
Good luck, Colin.
Good luck, Colin. Yeah, get well soon.
Get your awesome pork pie hat while you're in hospital. Please let me know. Which reminds me, he was going to send me some links for sweet hats, and he hasn't done that yet. So when you come out, you need to get better and come out, because I need you to put me onto these sweet hats.
And just remember, when you're in hospital, make a nuisance of yourself, because they send you home faster.
Yeah, but then again, I actually like hospital food.
Oh no!
I mean, I'm the kind of kid that used to like cod liver oil and malt when I was a kid, so I'm kind of odd. But
I've never been admitted to hospital.
And one thing about when you go to hospital, people come and visit you and say, "Is there anything you want?" Well, actually, can you get me this week's edition of Model Maker? Can you get me a copy of that? And can you get me some sweets and some fruit would be nice, and some chocolate bars? Yeah,
so maybe back.
Yeah. So yeah,
we've got several bingo suggestions. We've got Steve's Shed Scale Models. Says slap it on.
Slap it on. Yeah, I
didn't miss that one out.
Yeah, gotta have that one. I bet. Oh, yeah.
Raging Bases says Stabity.
Stabity, yeah, true.
Yeah. There's a few other people saying slap it on now, but you're too late.
Did you actually have the G word I'm not allowed to say on the list?
It was Gunpla, yes.
Yes. See, I didn't say that.
Paul at Glued to the Sprue's Inn's got a question for you, Fox.
Yes.
When is Fox going to have some of his new hot sauce?
I don't know yet. I've got to make a meal that I can put some in.
I think you should have some now. Just put some on your finger.
No. Because I found out the best thing you can do is to put it into food that you cook, and the worst thing you can do is just eat. For those that don't know, Glued to the Sprue, Paul sent me a care package today. He sent me that, which I ordered, which he got for me from his local Warhammer shop. And he also sent me a small bottle of it just simply said regret on the label. That's all it said. And there was, other than the ingredients on the back of the bottle, there was nothing. It just said regret. And it turns out it's a hot chili paste for cooking with ghost chili, habaneros, and some other ingredient that rates the actual paste itself at 12 million Scovilles. Yeah. So I was like, should I? No, So apparently you're supposed to just put a little bit of it into food when you're preparing the food, not cooking the food, not just like get a bit on the hum. Because I'm not that dumb. I'm dumb, but I'm not 1,200 million Scovilles dumb.
Colin says, Fox, I haven't forgotten you. Hat times when I'm back.
Yay! Get better soon, dude.
Yeah.
Not that I'm being mercenary, but sweethearts, you know what I mean? Nah, good luck, mate.
Robert Blaylock says, is hospital food better in the UK because it tastes like cardboard in the US? And in the US, you've got to pay for it as well.
Yeah, but
he did say coloured cardboard, but he spelt coloured wrong.
Don't forget though, it's like American chocolate. We do cardboard better than the Americans. So yes, it does taste like cardboard, but it's better cardboard.
Yeah.
Right. What else? What else? Adrian David says hospital food is very good and he doesn't like visitors.
Dave, why has Rum Gun Barker actually got the same bottle of hot sauce? And I swear it just says regret on the bottle, and that's all it tells you. He says he did lick the finger, and Fox, don't do it. Because Paul sent him some as well, and he got a load in his. He was making some chicken. And he was like, let's put that in the frying pan, and it's like, oh, I hope that was a little tiny amount, Dave.
Steve says to dip the pork scratchings in it.
I did when I was talking about mushrooms and pork scratchings.
No, not quite.
I also have a rather delicate question: did I do any swearing when I was doing that story? Because I didn't know we were live. But I was just if you didn't catch the full story, one of my followers sent me a big jar of ghost chili pork scratches. So pork scratches in this powder. The powder's got ghost chili in it, and they're really quite strong. And I had some raw mushrooms, and I discovered that raw mushrooms taste all right, but kind of bland. But if you have a couple of these ghost chili pork scratchings and then a piece of mushroom, the flavor becomes intense. Try it.
Adrian David has a question. What are you guys watching when you're not modelling? Assuming like TV or whatever, or YouTube.
Yeah, I tell you what I watched the other night when I wasn't modelling. It's a new program on Dave. It's called Cop Car Workshop or something like that.
What's that about?
It's a
nature things again.
You got me there. Yeah, I just happened to pick what I don't usually watch police-related programs because it's all dramatic and sort of.
It's all just flashbacks, isn't it?
Yeah, especially the garage and the workshop. It brings me out in sweats because I used to be taking more crash cars than anybody else for some reason. But I did watch it, and I did notice that some of my old colleagues were on it from the underwater search team. So they were all turning up. They really showed what the underwater search team was because the first thing they said was, "Where's the kettle? Can I have a cup of tea, please?"
Yeah. Can we assume from that, Ted, that they were happy to trust you with firearms and boats, but when it came to cars, they were like, "No, you're not on the cars today."
Yeah. You used to put me on a beat to walk. Yeah.
Ted, we were going to put you on traffic, but what we're going to do is we're going to get you puppy walking the new guy for a week because you can have a gun, but we're not going to car. We're not idiots.
When am I going on traffic, Gov? I've just got to go and finish this report, and I'll talk to you later. Yeah, so
because of all the reasons. I'm actually I don't watch television at all. I don't sit down and watch television because 99% of TV, like normal ITV and BBC, is just absolute trash. I refuse to watch ITV and BBC. The only things I watch from terrestrial TV are like documentaries, science documentaries and things like that, because they're all right. But 99% of TV right now is phone-in celebrity nonsense that I really can't stand. It's just TV designed for mouth-breathing idiots. So what I tend to do is I do a lot of binge watching. So I've been through, over the last few years, I've been through House, West Wing. I've just finished Designated Survivor, Firefly, every single Star Trek series. I even, because I ran out of stuff to watch at one point, I actually watched every single episode of The Bill from 1984 to 2004 when it started to get a bit pants.
Wasn't there one episode that doesn't exist anymore or something? Something about a lost episode that...
Episode 7?
I managed to find somewhere online where I could watch pretty much every single episode of The Bill. So that's about 3,000 episodes. Right until it got really pants and Reg Hollis left and it all became soap operas, then I stopped watching it. But man, if you've never watched The Bill, just...
I'm like you. I tend not to watch TV, but I'll watch catch up when I'm at the bench. I'll put used to find these programs that I'll catch up on the.
But it's like I'm amazed now by when you watch TV, and if you forget all the sort of channels like Dave and stuff, but the regular terrestrial ITV, BBC, the regular 3 or 4 channels, we don't count Channel 5 as actual television. 99% is just dross. It's either home makeover, personal makeover, celebrity nonsense, celebrity phone-in nonsense, soap opera, celebrity phone-in soap opera nonsense on ice, dancing and singing. It's all rubbish. What is with TV nowadays?
Yeah.
Why is there just nothing to watch? It's just you get the occasional good drama, and you're like, okay, that's good, but not very often. But 99% of it is just absolute dribble. It's like they're just making this phone-in celebrity nonsense for just people that they just think everybody's just made of this, and they can't. Oh, it makes me mad. It's just no TV. I don't bother.
Well, that annoys me when I'm watching American shows because you've got like half of the show before the titles, and they spend half of that telling you what happened last time, and then at the end they'll sort of tell you what's going to happen next time, and there's actually only 5 minutes of actual show in the middle.
Yeah, well, it's good when you find, let's just say, not particularly legitimate places to watch things, because then there's no adverts. And that's the other thing. I used to watch like a lot of stuff on catch-up TV, like on Channel 4 and BBC. I love BBC iPlayer. I refuse to watch Channel 4's player because it has adverts in it.
Yeah, that's a bit of an issue. You can't even skip them.
Yeah, it's like, no thanks. I want to avoid the adverts. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, there's one there. Speaking about TV, FX modelling and things says he's watching us on his TV. So hey,
big TV. You've got a big 70-inch TV. This is huge. I'll keep my nose below the camera because you don't want to see up my nostrils. That'd be a bad thing. Give you a huge thumbs up.
Yeah, Tony Black says he hasn't had a TV set for over 15 years. It drives the licensing people nuts.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I've got a TV for my Xbox, of course, so I get the thing saying, "Have you got a TV license?" I don't watch TV. Mm-hmm. But technically, you need one now anyway. But yes, I've got one. So. Yeah. But yeah, it's just like TV nowadays. It's like my mum watches TV, obviously, because the stuff she likes to watch. But if I watch anything, it's on the internet because I just don't need to watch terrestrial television anymore. It's just dross.
Yeah,
man, but it really is just celebrity phone-in drivel. Just can we not get Ant and Deck shipped out to some unknown country somewhere and just left?
They do that every year, don't they? Paul Lloyd says, Chris, don't forget, they also tell you what's coming on tonight's episode. Yeah, they do that as well.
Yeah. Previously on this program.
Previously and this time and next time. And
I think we should do that. I think we should have the first 20 minutes.
Last time on eModels.
Last time on eModels.
See, the thing is now that some of the best TV is coming out is actually through people like Netflix and Amazon and stuff like that, where they've never made TV before, and now they're in the TV program making business. Some of the best like dramas and things I've watched have been like Netflix and Amazon. They're just incredible stuff. They just blow ITV and BBC out the water. Nobody does documentaries quite like the BBC. I'll give them that. But for dramas and stuff.
Dirt Triple says he doesn't have a TV, but in Germany you're forced to pay anyway. That's a bit of a downer, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite good here because like if you don't ever buy a TV, you won't get asked to pay it. But if you buy a TV, you're automatically registered with the Department of looking at your secrets.
Yeah.
And knowing about your life, and you get a letter saying, please make sure you have a TV license because we'll come around with the boys. Steve Watt says, oh, Fox's X-Bone sad face. Nothing wrong with having an X-Bone. Thank you very much. Better than having a PS4.
The X-Bone X now, isn't it?
X-Bone 1X, yeah. I would have a game. I would have a PC, but PCs are for work, so and for desk. So I do that. I'm on the PC all day for work, so the Xbox is my happy fun times. On that topic, I actually made a terrible mistake a few days ago and bought Elite Dangerous. Yeah, I've been lost for a couple of days playing Elite Dangerous. So yeah, apologies. I've not been on the social media as much the last few days.
We wonder where you got to.
Yeah, I bought a flight stick and everything. It's brilliant, but yeah, I've gone for a few days.
Spooky, says Zadster. He was only talking to his dad about TV detector threats earlier. Remember that? He used to threaten you years ago, didn't he, with the detector van, and they come knocking at your door. Do
you remember the sort of late at night sort of BBC? This is a public service announcement, and it was always the public educational films, like don't go swimming in the pond when it's summer and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, or what was the two cartoon people that used to phone the Coast Guard? He's waving to us now, Wilbur. Was it Wilbur?
I remember that. I don't remember what it was.
I can't remember the names of them now.
I think we had that in London.
He's waving. Yeah, he's waving. Yeah, he might be drowning, but he's waving to us. Yeah,
I remember that. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, Charlie. Charlie says. Charlie says. Yeah, I remember Charlie says.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and also the other one that they did was always shut the gates on country walks, something like that. Yeah.
Christopher Combs says, so you're saying you have to have a license to watch a TV in the UK? No, well you do, but the idea is that all the television in the UK has advertising on it except the BBC, because the BBC is publicly funded. It's actually a publicly owned company. And it's kind of administered by government, so it has requirements that it has to do so much educational programming stuff. But it's funded by the public, and the BBC TV license, well, the TV license actually funds the BBC. So all the other channels are commercial; they just pay for themselves. But the BBC was the first TV channel in the UK, and that was funded by the public with the TV license. So it's not a license to have a TV, but you have to kind of agree to help fund the BBC. If you want to watch television, you can get a TV and never use it for TV.
If your TV is capable of receiving BBC TV, then you have to buy
whether or not you've got it plugged in.
But it gets grey area now because, like, for example, I've got a TV here that's not connected to an aerial, but it's got an Xbox plugged in which has iPlayer and Netflix and Amazon and all stuff on it. So theoretically,
if it's got iPlayer
BBC because I can watch the iPlayer.
Yeah.
So I think they're including that now, basically.
Yeah. Well, I think what we need to do is, somebody suggested it before, why don't eModels have an eModels TV, and then we could all appear in a studio on your TV sets on each morning at 8 o'clock till 12, and we could present and sell things. And
you've got the Philip Schofield hair, and I've got the David Bellamy beard, so we can do daytime TV and nature shows. What could you do?
We could do chats with guests and things.
Yeah, if Ant and Deck come on the show, I'm quit. Today we're going to drop the shipping container on Ant and Deck. Boom. Brilliant.
They keep winning awards, don't they?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I mean, there's good TV out there, but I'd much rather just go online now and find something that's I want to watch rather than just turning on the TV and getting depressed.
Yeah,
so much of it is just phone-in nonsense. Dancing on Ice and X Factor and I've got no talent, get me out of here. That kind of rubbish.
As we do these live streams on a Monday night, does that qualify us for the British TV Awards? Could we go
Yeah, I'm sure we've got to be nominated. So yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Give it a few years, one of us will be hosting like the Daily Mirror Bravery Awards or whatever.
Yeah. So if everybody nominates us for the British TV Awards, we might be able to have a free night out with lots of booze.
Do eModels do a branded tux?
Yeah. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember this going back to the 70s. The old Paul Hogan show. This is going back to early 70s or late 70s. Paul Hogan used to have a TV show. And one of his sidekicks had a T-shirt, like a skin-tight T-shirt with a tuxedo printed on it and a beanie cap. And every time I say tuxedo, I just think, I remember that, this T-shirt with a tuxedo printed on it. And that was his daily attire, jeans.
Yeah,
about 3 people out there will remember the Paul Hogan show. Other than that, nobody will have a clue.
I could just see it now. And the winner of the best comic TV show of the year is eModels. Yay. I would like to thank you, everybody. I'd like to thank my mum and dad.
We'd have to send Pete mate up to get it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Pete mate for sponsoring. Yeah,
we'd set him off 6 months in advance just to guarantee you got there.
Yeah. We never know.
So welcome to this modelling podcast, anyway.
Yes, FX models and things says, what kits have you built that you found the hardest? Personally, I don't think I've not done any kits that I would class as being hard. I mean, the big bike was complex, but it wasn't difficult. It's just lots of bits, but it's very well explained and easy to do. So I don't know. Nothing that I've actually struggled with.
I've not really
struggle with.
Yeah, there's been a few kits. I can't possibly think of what they are at the moment. I think there's been a few kits that have been challenging because of the small parts, the fiddly parts. The ones that you ping across the room and you never see the parts again.
The parts that all my kits have got. Yeah.
I agree with the guys. I've never come across someone that's challenged me so much that I've just had to have given up on it. Some resin kits have given me nightmares, but other than that, the one kit there is only really one kit that I got to the point of giving up on, and that was the Master Grade Unicorn Full Armor Gundam, because I just got burnt out on it. It's a nice kit, but when you spend all that time building the suit and then you've got all the weapons, you're like, I've got to make 2 of these and 2 of those. In the end, I just stopped. I just stopped with it. I just got kind of burnt out. Somebody just pointed out, Philip Rose just pointed out when I was talking about the Paul Hogan show, his sidekick was wearing a lifesaver hat, not a beanie hat. Yes, you're right. A Coast Guard lifeguard hat. So at least one person in the chat that remembers the Paul Hogan show.
Yeah, well, at least one person listening.
And Steve Watts mentioned something which I won't read out, but yes. It's 2 people who remember the Paul Hogan show.
Yeah. I think I'm a bit like you. That once I've done a challenging kit, I think, thank heavens that's over. And often I'll look at the pictures and think, I don't want to do that again. But no, I don't think I've had a kit that's been too hard. Just challenging.
Yeah, nothing too hard. Like I say, resin. If you give me a resin kit, I'll be cursing and swearing because I'm just no natural at resin.
Usually, there's not a lot of parts in a resin kit.
No, but it's more the case of how you clean it up and how you also pin it all together so it doesn't fall apart.
And the chance of death.
Yeah, which is why this little thing is fun, because it's going to be interesting because it's resin. It's only one dude, but it's resin. So I'm like, we'll see. I'm not a big fan of resin because I suck at it. So
Terry at Smooth's Workshop's got an important modelling question.
Yes.
Milk and coffee, sugar first or milk after adding water?
Don't be ridiculous. Is milk first?
No, it can't be milk. Yeah, it has to. Yeah, sorry. Yes, it has to be milk first. Yeah.
Coffee, milk, and sugar in the cup. Then you add your hot water. If you don't put the milk in first, you burn the coffee and it tastes wrong.
Burns the coffee. Yeah.
But what about tea then?
I don't drink tea, but you would put the milk in afterwards for tea.
No, yeah, milk in afterwards for tea. Milk in, tea, tea bag in the cup, hot water on the tea bag. Leave it for 5 minutes without stirring, squashing, squeezing, doing anything with it. Take the tea bag out after 5 minutes. Then you had your milk and your sugar, and you have the perfect cup of tea.
No. You have to put the 14 sugars in with the tea bag. I don't know why. You just do.
No. But then you pull them off and out with the tea bag, don't you? Because they'll sort of smash into it. Yeah.
No, you don't squash it. No, you just take the tea bag out. Put it on the little spoon-shaped tray that sticks to the cup.
But if you're really serious, you just drink coffee because Tea's for girls.
And then you don't bother putting milk in it. You just have it black.
Hey?
Coffee without, don't put any milk in it. You just have it as it is.
We're not American. This is what gets me, right? When you see like American shows and stuff, and they make a cup of coffee, they just get the coffee and go like that, and then drink it, and I'm like, black coffee's horrible. It's just you want to put milk and sugar in it. It's not civilized. How does that work? I'll never understand the Americans. Sometimes I love them to bits, but I'll never understand them. Michael Jackson says biplanes. He hates them. The top wing never reaches the struts.
Long time since I built a biplane, and then it was just an Airfix one. And I didn't think I bothered. I didn't bother with any wiring or strings or tensioning wires at all. So just went together.
Yeah. Seymour Bovington said milk lasts in everything like cornflakes.
Oh yeah, that's going last on your cornflakes. Yeah, you can't put
milk has to go in the coffee before the hot water. Nothing worse than the taste of burnt coffee. It's horrible. This is how you get a nice. If you're like me and you're like, I actually like instant coffee. I'm not one of these like Ponzi coffee types. Just give me a cup of Dow Egberts any day. I have no posh qualms when it comes to coffee. But if you don't put the milk in first, it just tastes right. It doesn't taste creamy, and it's just no. And now I really want a cup of coffee.
All right. And AD Math has a different question for us. Toilet roll over the top or down the back?
On the floor. Top.
Don't be crazy.
Yeah, over the top. Yep. Yeah, we agreed. That's solved that one. That was easy.
Yeah. On the floor. On the floor, it just drips down the side.
Yeah, putting it round the back is just an act of pure evil.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Apparently, you only do that if you've got cats.
Because
it stops the cats from unraveling it.
Nothing will stop the cat.
I'll go with that, but
they'll figure something out. They'll make a contraption to do it. By the way, we have to add, that we do actually like when you ask us non-model making questions because it just makes for a fun show.
Yep.
This may be one of those shows where we actually do almost talking about model making.
We've done some modelling already.
Yeah. On last week's show, we were talking about modelling. This week and this week's show, we're not.
Well, Terry at Smooth's Workshop seems to be going for some sort of question-asking record. He's got another one. I have a resin archer. Easy line for the bow or stretch sprue?
What scale?
Resin archer, yeah. I'd have thought easy line because
even at say 1/35th, easy line would be a good bet because you could stretch it from the. You could stretch, assuming he's actually.
Yeah, you could put it on. Yeah, you could put it on the bow as it would normally be untensioned. Well, you're the archer, right?
Yeah. Well, the string doesn't stretch, you see, so it's not technically accurate. But
right.
The string stays the same length and the bow bends.
Yeah,
but
I didn't know. In the shot, you still have the string going from the. When you knock it, you still have the string from there to there to there. So
yeah,
but yeah, easy line would be a good one for that. Because
I think if you're using stretch sprue, you'd probably end up with one end thicker than the other, wouldn't you?
And it would just kind of look too thick.
Yeah.
Easy line would be like
easy line. Way to go.
Dead easy. There you go. Just one piece.
Is that where we went wrong there when we did Cowboys and Indians? So
because you had elastic band. Yeah,
we had an elastic band. Is that where we went wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why the Indians never won.
Yeah. Now I know. See, you learn something every week in eModels live stream.
See, we were when I was a kid in the 1970s, we were different. It wasn't Cowboys and Indians. It was Cowboys and Germans. So because we were confused between the 60s and the World War II, so we've got a bit of both.
Yeah, it used to be Japs and Commandos. Up north, it was Japs and Commandos.
No, it was always for us. It was always Americans and Germans. And if you're an American, you're always called Steve or Jack.
Well, that's because they're all called Steve.
If there's more than two of you, it got a bit confusing.
Michael Jackman has got a question about Pepsi Max. He says it's awful. Only original Pepsi or Coke is okay. He hates diet. And, well, is it Pepsi or Coke? Which way did you go with that? It's got to be Coke, sorry.
That's Coke. Yeah, Coke all the way for me. Yeah.
See, I have to be awkward here and say neither because Pepsi's vile. Coke is all right, but boring. Dandelion and burdock. It's my fizzy drink of choice.
We used to have a drink called Sass.
Sass, is that sarsaparilla by any chance?
Marsh's Sass, secret recipe. And I think the bottles, there's a bottle of unopened Sass doing the rounds on eBay. Vast amounts of prices. People buy it, keep it for a few months, sell it on again, and somebody else buys it. So it's simple.
If you remember, a couple of months ago, we mentioned somebody brought up the Alpine Pot Man. Which might be a northern thing, but this guy used to come around with a flatbed truck in the 1970s with a van full of crates. Instead of crates of milk, there were crates of bottles about this big of pop, like fizzy pop, all different flavors. And we've still got some in the front bedroom, just sat in a corner. And there was one that was like lemon and lime, and it was this neon green. It's still neon green. It's like 40 years old, and it's still neon green.
Can you all type a little bit slower though, because you're just putting in drinks, and I can't keep up.
Oh, actually, hang on.
That's a problem. That's a problem I have in a pub. Is keep putting drinks, and I can't keep up.
I made a grievous error. I said dandelion and burdock, and then Festus just said Dr. Pepper. And in fact, yes, I do prefer Dr. Pepper to everything else. Dr. Pepper is the best fizzy drink.
No, I don't like Dr. Pepper. It's like
you're not normal.
Yeah, a lot of people say Iron Brew and different colas and Pepsi Max, and yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, no, fizzy drinks have never been the same since they got rid of Quattro. Let's just leave it at
that. Smoot's got a follow-up question.
Go on.
What scale of easy line for a 1/8 Archer?
I think they only do 2, don't they? The fine and the heavy gauge, and the. Well, if you think about it, if you look at the string on a boat, it's what? How thick is it, Chris? About
they come in different thicknesses.
Hey,
they come in different thicknesses.
But typically, on average, what would you say? It's
they're done in strands, but they're probably about 3 or 4 mil.
Yeah. So if you put that to
an
scale,
8 for that, so half mil.
I think to like depend on the scale. If it's a 1/35 scale, it'd virtually be invisible.
It says 1/8.
Just go for the. It's what?
1/8.
Oh, I'd still just go for the finest one you can find.
Yeah, just.
I've got some easy line, but I haven't used it yet. I know it's very, very stretchy. Does it get a lot thinner when you stretch it?
Yes.
So it sort of has to. So it doesn't really matter what one you use, because you just stretch it a bit more and it'll get thinner.
Yeah, it can stretch. Apparently, it can stretch with 700 times its length, which is why if you want to make something this long, you can actually cut a piece that big. However, and I can't remember who it was, so I apologize. Somebody was it you, Chris, or was it Paul or somebody, or I can't remember who it was. Had a plane and they had an antenna, and they stretched the easy line from the tail rudder to the antenna, and because it's under tension, the antenna went like that. Yeah, I think
it might have been
too much. I can't remember who that was that did it, but you can't put it under too much tension because it might pull the thing it's attached to.
I think it might have been TK, and I think you put another bit the other side of it to put it down to straighten it.
I did that on my when I made my U-boat, because there was the flagpole at the back of the winter garden. On mine actually snapped and didn't break off, so I glued it back on, but I was conscious of it having a weak point here on this side. So what I did was, I was very clever. I got some easy line and glued it to the other side to pull it back to keep it straight. So it was horribly under tension, and at any point it could have gone off that way. But then I put another piece of easy line there, and it just kind of held it in place and locked it all into place, which was quite good.
Adrian David's got a question. How's your mum, Fox?
She's absolutely fine, thank you very much. And she's slowly nibbling away those ghost chili pork scratchings. Although, unlike me, I know that you eat these things really quickly. Mum likes to kind of suck on them like a lozenge for about 5 minutes. So she gets a lot more pain and suffering than I does, but she seems to enjoy it.
John's got a modelling question. Fox, how do you like the Vallejo game colour compared to Citadel?
These ones. I'm trying them out for this for the Imperial Skitter build. They're quite nice. I quite like them. I prefer the Citadels, but these are fairly. These are pretty darn close. They do give you a bit more of a shiny surface, which the only issue I've had with them when I was doing some testing, and I haven't got the little guy here to show you, but I painted a Space Marine in random colours. The only issue I've had is they do dry a little bit satiny sometimes, and I found if I'm going over one of the colours with, say, one of the metallics like a gold or something, it can really have poor surface tension, so you have to go over with quite a few coats to build it up. But no, I'm quite enjoying them. They're not too bad, actually.
Are the game colour the air version, or are they still got to be watered down for airbrush?
No, there's game colour and there's game colour air, I think, or there's model colour air. The game colours are basically Vallejo taking all the Citadel range of colours and making them themselves. So the game colour range specifically is meant to mimic the Citadel range of colours. Not 100%, but it's fairly close. So you can just switch between one and the other. They are a little bit thinner, but not much. The air versions are just thinner versions of these. I don't think they're really that much different. They're very nice to airbrush. They're quite nice. They come in a dropper bottle, which is a million times better than Citadel, but there you go. But no, they're really good. I recommend them. I definitely recommend them.
Just while we're on those colours, I know the strange and wonderful colours. Somebody has mentioned to me that they may be buying the Polar Lights Wizard of Oz resin kit from eModels, and they've asked me what colour would they recommend for painting the green witch's face. Remember the witch from the Wizard of Oz?
Oh yeah,
yeah. What would you recommend a suitable colour out of the game range? Does anybody out there know?
I haven't actually. I mean, I could tell you what greens to use in Citadel, but that doesn't really work on an eModels podcast. I haven't used the green colours, but you're probably looking at various bright and medium.
It's got to be quite bright, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, you want to start with the trick with any colours. And by the way, Gareth Redfern's just done a super chat.
Yeah,
so
I saw that. I'll be with that in a minute.
Thank you, Gareth. The trick is you want to. It sounds really weird and counterintuitive, but you want to start with. I don't know, actually. It's like a flesh tone. You want to start with the darker colours and work your way up. So, like with the flesh tone, you start even conceivably with the brown, and then you build up the layers, getting lighter and lighter. So, with the green, you want to start with the darker green colour, and then start building the lighter areas up until you've kind of blended them all together until you've got to that kind of bright, lurid green. And if theoretically you could go for because in those days when they filmed in Technicolor, everything had to be exaggerated so it would come out on camera. So the actress wearing the makeup could have been made up to be really, really lurid bright green so that when they filmed it, it would come out the right color on camera. Oddly enough, though, sometimes you might find that she may have actually not even been green at all, because sometimes with the old Technicolor films, they had to do things completely the different colors to make them show up. There are stories of people that are doing characters and they've had to have like bright purple faces to make sure the color balancing was all right for the cameras. So, but yeah, I'd start with you could start from your kind of olive drabs as the base, because you'll start with the base to get all the dark color in, and then you work on the highlights and you get the highlights in, and then you fade them and shade them out. So the dark is still there in the recesses, but you're just blending everything together. So
yeah, I haven't actually seen what scale the model is yet, but I have a feeling it might actually end up coming my way. There's one or two suggestions here in the chat for various ideal colours, but thank you very much for that. It was just a thought while we're on game colour.
Yeah.
Gareth did the super chat asking about my magnification. I use an optimizer.
Yep.
Just normal one. This one's got an extra bit on the front and bit inside, but I just use it on maximum magnification all the time. It makes small things bigger, so I don't know exactly what the magnification is, but it works.
That's exactly the same one as I've got up there. You can just see it appearing down the end of the bottom of the.
I've got that one, which I don't know where I got it from. It's like 10 years old. It did have a slidey downy thing here that I can't remember what was on it, but it just got in the way and was annoying, so I just ripped it out. And it did have an external little sort of loop that came over there, but again, it was annoying, so I took it off. And you can't change the lenses; they're just whatever magnification that is, and it works fine for me. It cost me like about £5, I think, from somewhere. It's just cheap plastic thing.
Yeah. Once again, like we mentioned before about the Sprue, it's something that is handy to have in your workshop, and you don't use it, but when the time that you do come to use it, it's perfect.
Yeah. The only word of caution with things like optivisors and stuff, well, I would say don't go for the actual optivisors because they're really expensive. It's not worth it. But the only thing to be aware of is, I found once I started using an optivisor, I kind of depend on it now, because I've got my normal glasses that I wear here. And I've actually got a pair of reading glasses. These are varifocals. I've got these reading glasses, which are a bit more. I got them to make these for me. This is where I go all geeky now, look. I got them to make these so they magnify a bit more, so they're for close-up work. I said I need close-up stuff when I'm making models. So these are a bit more close-up, but I kind of find now that I kind of need to wear my optivisor just to do anything. I need to go and get my eyes tested again. I even find now that when I've got something, I'm making dinner, and I've got some instructions how to cook something, and it's really small text, I have to go and get my optivisor to read that. So
yeah, go on.
So you do kind of get used to wearing it, and you do kind of depend on it a little bit. But there's no shame in that, because at the end of the day, it's more important to get some good paint on your models and get the little fine details just right. So I'd recommend one. They're really good. You don't need to spend a lot of money on them. You don't need to spend
one way I find of checking small parts when I painted them to see if I've got the painting right is to take a photograph of it and enlarge it.
Yes, that's true. Because
zoom it in and have a look.
Take a photograph, put it on Facebook, and then everyone else will tell you where you've missed of it.
Yeah, because if ever you, as all three of us will tell you, anyone who's ever done a model, taken a picture and put it on Facebook, or taken a picture and then got it into Photoshop to move it around a bit and tweak it, that's when you see all the mistakes that you don't see when you look at it every day for a week.
Yeah.
So it's always good to stop, take a photograph and say, right, that's really crap, I need to go and work on that, because you will see stuff you haven't noticed before. And you'll be there going, oh, that's terrible. You don't see what's right in front of you. So
Ashley Sparrowhawk must have come in late because they got a question, how's the Star Lifter doing and how's the build been? Rewind and watch later, because I mentioned about it at the beginning.
Show it again, Chris. Go on, you may as well.
Yeah.
It's 5 minutes of material that we desperately need. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's model related as well.
It's primed, but built and primed, but not painted yet. I've been filling in seams and things. So, yeah, it's getting there. It's been challenging, shall we say. It's one of those difficult builds that isn't really difficult, but some of the fits and the wings and that weren't ideal, hence the sprue goo. But yeah, it's been fun.
Sprue's Workshop says, "Gonna get my Greg's sausage rolls out." I don't like
Michael Jackman says it must be getting near what's in store time because his pizza's arrived.
Yeah,
assuming his pizza, because I haven't had a pizza delivered.
Yeah, what kind of pizza is it?
Yeah, we're nearly there because I've just reset my chair and I've come up to the top of the screen again.
Well, we're nearly there because I might need to go for a wee at some point. So.
Ryan Riley says, now that eModels carries Japanese mobile suits, can we expect a what's in store featuring them?
Well, if you want a mobile suit thingy, what's in store, you can have one. If you ask for it, we'll do our best to deliver.
Hang on, I actually missed that question, so all I heard was talking about mobile soup. What?
Suit.
Yeah, suit.
Oh, suit.
Suit.
Smooth's
got another
question. I
question.
kind of misheard what Ted says. So.
Smooth has another question. He's asking if I can do a South London accent. Not really. I don't do accents. I do my own, which I get accused of being Australian quite a lot. But,
yeah, but can you not say Diamond Geezer?
Diamond Geezer.
Yeah,
nah,
sorry,
that wasn't Pierce.
Sorry,
it's not really South London, is it? It's more sort of East End.
Yeah, I don't really know what the next thing will be like. Is it like that? Is it kind of like that?
Mobile soup sounds excellent, says Zedster.
Mobile soup. Yeah, we'll do a mobile soup. What's in store?
Yeah, mobile soup.
If Fox gets himself a big like RV trailer thing or a transit van, and he can sell them out the side of it, he can call it mobile soup.
No, it'll be a scratty old caravan that we've just cleaned all the mould out of and repainted over the mould we couldn't get rid of.
Kenneth says I'm too short to be Australian. I'm pretty sure Australians come in different sizes. I'm the wrong way up, but
I think there are Australians with bigger biceps than you, as in bigger biceps that are bigger than you. So I've watched. I have to say, by the way, I had occasion to watch 2 YouTube videos today from reliable like science things, who both in the course of the videos. One video was about spider rain, like when spiders will balloon en masse and they float through the air, and one was a video about something else, but they just happened to mention spider rain, and both of them said reports of like thousands and millions of spiders falling from the sky in Australia, because of course it was Australia, and they both said exactly that. And I'm like, it's universally accepted that all the bad animals go to Australia. So Australians are hard, man. Australians are hardcore dudes. I'll never forget the Australian guy that said to me once that he woke up with a huntsman spider on his face, and he kind of pushed it away and said, "Go away, I'm sleeping."
Yeah, I'm sure that's what we'd all do.
I'd be in therapy for months.
Kenneth says they got baby spiders bigger than me.
Yes. I read a story about, it was about a week ago, and there was a photograph of this huntsman spider on some mesh on a door like that, trying to get in, and there was another pair of legs sticking out from somewhere else. And the story was that the guy was in bed, and his kids came in and said, Dad, can the spider come to breakfast when we have breakfast? And he went downstairs, and this massive huntsman spider. And he's like, I'm Australian, and even I'm kind of creeped out by them. But my kids are like, cool, can it come to breakfast with us?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I went to Australia, spent a month in Australia touring around, having a look at the sites. Never saw a spider, but obviously they were watching.
You did see what?
They were watching us. Yeah, we didn't see them, but they could see us.
I don't know what's worse if you're in Australia, that you see the spider or that you don't see the spider. Which is worse? Yeah. Probably obvious.
Both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, and they have actually have people that you can just phone up and say, hello, there's a snake in my bath. Can you come and remove it? Or there's an alligator in my pool. Can you come and fish it out?
Well, I had a moment once where I was talking to one of my friends who was Australian, and I said that I've been outside, and we get like diadem spiders and we get garden spiders, and I like garden spiders because they're kind of fat and lumpy and they don't come indoors, which is brilliant, and they're very pretty, and I like watching them do their thing and make their webs. And they make we've got this little pathway down our garden that goes from the back of the house to the driveway, little path about 6 feet long, and it's become known as Spider Alley because they all decide to make their webs across it. And it's the sole purpose is to get from the garden to the driveway. There's no other way to get there. And I went through one of these webs and did the spider flail thing, and it's like a farty little spider that big. It was like, ah. And she was saying, "Yeah, you think that's scary? Go through an orb weaver web that's 3 meters across, and the spider itself is about 1.5 foot long." He said, "Then you'll be flailing." I'm like, okay, maybe it wasn't that bad. Tim Vick says, Fox, didn't you know the spiders climb in your mouth at night when you sleep? I know the true story of that rumor, of that myth. Apparently, that whole thing about swallowing spiders while you sleep, I found this out, and it's fascinating. I think it was on Snopes. Many years ago, at the early days of the internet, a professor of psychology, I think she was, and media studies, wanted to study how information propagated through the internet. So what she did was she made a post online about how when you sleep, you swallow up to 8 spiders. And she made it up purely to see how it was something so obvious and outrageous, to see how it would propagate around the internet. And it did so well that people now take it as read that that's what happens, when in fact it was somebody making something up to test how information gets taken on by the internet and taken as read. So it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. So it's actually made up. You probably do swallow the occasional spider, but
yeah. Right, on about tea and food. I think it's time to go and have a look at what's in store. Yeah.
Yes. Let's go and have a look. Now we've got.
Before we nip to what's in store, can I do a quick question from Phil East, because it's a model question and it's an interesting one that I quite like the answer to. He says, "Is it cheating to Photoshop pics of finished models?"
No. I think it's just another art, isn't it? I mean, depends.
I suppose it depends what you're doing with it. I mean, if you're changing the colours and repainting and removing scratches and things, then probably. But if you're giving it a nice background or putting filters on it or something, then probably
if you're enhancing it, yeah, it's not wrong. I'm trying to do that with some of mine at the moment. Actually, I've got a Photoshop type program that Fox kindly told me the details of it. I'm going to have a go at sort of putting some of mine on a nice background. Have a look, see what they look like.
Yeah, enhancing is fine, but if you're going to start,
yeah, if you're changing the colours, if you're changing the colours, why not just change the colours in real life rather?
Yeah.
I completely agree. I was just about to say, I obviously post pictures of my stuff online, and I will use Photoshop to do things like enhance a photo by changing the gamma or the color correction to make it look more like the actual model. Because sometimes you take a photograph of something and the color correction will be off, and something that's brown might look red, or something that's white might look gray. So you're going to adjust that so that everything comes out looking like the actual model itself. But the one thing I will never do is say, "Oh, I messed that bit up. I'll just tidy that bit up." There's nothing wrong with it. It's not illegal or anything. But as a person, for me personally, I want people to see what I've made, and if it's got some mistakes on it, then it's just part of the craft of the craftsman made thing. It's the flaws that make something interesting. But there's nothing wrong with enhancing the photograph, correctly.
Well, I think that's where a lot of these modern day photographers, wedding photographers, and things let themselves down because they're not going out now and working with a wet camera, wet film like your dad did with these cameraman type work. They're going out, taking a picture, then going back to the lab at home or sitting in front of the computer and enhancing all the photographs, which really isn't sort of giving a true reproduction of the work.
No, I mean the one thing I found is that because I do all my filming and photography on an iPhone because I can't afford a camera. I don't really need one anyway. It's a lot of faff. My dad, who was a cameraman, will be spinning his grave right now. But I find that if I'm taking a picture of one of my models and maybe there's a little bit that I realise isn't painted very well, it's kind of more honest just to frame the picture in such a way that maybe that isn't as obvious or it can't be seen. And it's more a challenge of composition then to take a picture that shows all the good parts of your model while kind of hiding the bad parts. I think that's a more honest way of doing it. If you've got you've painted something and there's a bit of a paint spot there, just turn it around a bit so it's not quite as obvious.
Well, it's the same as taking pictures of people. You want to take their best side.
Yeah.
So it's the same. You take the picture of your best side of your kit.
Yeah, and it can lead to it can challenge you to take good pictures, and that's sometimes how you take a photograph that you never would have thought of taking, but comes out really nicely. I like doing lots of jaunty angles. Sometimes it's because I can't show you that bit around there because it's painted like a 5-year-old. Turn that around. I think that's kind of honest. I think changing things in Photoshop, it doesn't really matter if you were a professional or you were trying to claim that there was nothing going on with the photograph. Then that's a question of honesty, I think. So if it was a professional, I'm a professional model maker and I've made this and this is an example I'm working, it's like, has it been photoshopped? And then you see the real thing and it's not quite as good. Then if it involves money, then yes, that's not a very good thing to do. But if it's just you taking pictures of your models, you do what you like.
Make them look as good as you can.
Yeah. But I think it's important if you do make changes to it that change what it physically is, somebody could look at the real thing and see how that doesn't match the photograph. Then it's important to actually be honest about that and say, I have covered up made some corrections with some dodgy paint. But
Philly says, thanks, guys. My thoughts exactly. So
good.
You're all on the same page.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you're just taking pictures of your models to put on Facebook, it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to send the FBI around. The guy that lives in your radiator that'll know all that anyway.
Right. What's in store time? Yeah, I've dropped an inch, so it must be what's in store time.
Yes, it was half an hour ago, and then Chris asked a question.
Yeah, I do have a couple of another question.
Adrian David says, if you pull the legs off a spider, it won't move.
Yeah, that's it.
Are you locked on you, Ted?
Ostrich 9000 said, there's a saying about sharks, for everyone you see, 100 of them saw you.
Yeah.
Right. Time to go over and have a look at what's in store.
Are you locked on you?
Right. I'll lock it on me. Doing that bit. Looking for the button to share it with. No,
go to the button.
That's the one that says stop broadcast. So it's not that one.
There's a button on there that says break Fox. Don't press that.
Yeah.
Charles off his finished work. Thanks, matey.
But right, so we'll do a screen share. Share screen. So this week we are doing America.
Hang on, I wasn't ready.
Oh, I give you enough.
How much warning you need?
I forgot.
I give you enough. Hang on. I give you enough hint.
We'll start again.
This week we are doing America.
Yeah, that joke didn't work because I messed up the timing. Sorry.
Yeah, last week we had a look at what's in store for Russia because it was the beast from the east. But now it's the Yank from the west.
It's the Yank from the west. That doesn't quite work.
No, it didn't work, does it? It's not the same beast from the east. Yank from the west. No, it's quite rude, that really, isn't it?
Let's not say that again.
Yeah, let's not say that again. Yeah, well, to start with, we're going to have a look at something for you airplane guys, especially the ones that like the metallic colours. There's always a lot of topics and talks and chats about doing metallics and cracking sort of subject to do that on would be the Tamiya 132nd North American P51. The most
South American P51. Inquiring minds want to know.
Well, it's probably done. It's probably done in the colours or the decals for the North America. Is or from the deep south. If you want to do it, North America. Let's have a look at some of the pictures on this bit of a kit. The Tamiya was, as you know, superb details. Usually nothing goes wrong with the Tamiya kits. and this is looking quite a nice model.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, first time I've actually looked at these photographs, so it's a treat in store for all of us. I wonder if the little guy comes with it as well. Anybody built this? Does the guy come with it?
I think you do get a pilot with it.
Yeah.
Michael Jackman says it's on his list, but he's not built it yet.
Yeah, you really can't beat Tamiya for their like small scale planes. They are just fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that's a great plane. I mean, I'm not into planes, and even I like that. It's just
yeah.
Because imagine that with your Alclads or with your C1 metalizer power.
Yeah, this one's actually this one looks like it's been painted in a camouflage scheme. But yeah, I think the traditional way to do is in the Alclads or something like that with your metals. Yeah, there's a nice pilot figure in there, isn't there? Crack it.
Beautiful.
Timber says it's a great kit, but he messed it up. So I'm assuming he's built this one.
Yeah. So yeah, some nice nose art, some nice decals for the nose art. Fully exposed engine, everything there. Nose core.
It's kind of a long project kind of build, that one, isn't it?
Yeah,
prestige style kits.
Yeah. I wouldn't think it's one of these that you could do in a weekend. It was something to put on your bench and cherish and build over a period of time. Yeah, as I said, maybe doing a side build as well, so you don't as well with it, so you don't get as bored or as bogged down with it.
Adrian Davis says the pilot, it comes with a sitting and standing pilot.
Oh well, that's excellent then. So that's that one. That's the Tamiya P51D Mustang.
A couple of people commenting that it's quite expensive, but there's a lot of detail in that kit.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of other Mustang kits out there, but this is the one. As you know, eModels are the one. I think the UK's largest stocker of Tamiya kits.
Yeah, they are the largest stocker of Tamiya.
So if there's a Tamiya kit that you do want and they haven't got it in stock, just drop them a line and I'm sure they can get it. So
at the end of the day, you know, there are some comments about the price on there, but model making is kind of it's a luxury hobby, and there's a whole range of prices. We're always going to show kits from all different ends of the model making range. We're going to show budget kits for those on a smaller budget. We're going to show more expensive kits for those who can afford such kits. We're just going to show a range of kits. We cater to everybody.
We don't expect everyone to buy every kit that's featured every week.
Yes.
Yeah, we're just showing you a flavour of what's in store, to give you some ideas. There's all sorts of prices there. One of the ways that you can, if you have a budget to work to, a gift voucher or something like that, or you've got some birthday money or Christmas money, and you have a budget to work to, you can actually set the price scale on the eModels website, so you can find something between £50 and £100, or you can find something up to 50 quid, or any sort of variations in between. So
don't forget, of course, there are people that, you know, I couldn't afford that kit.
No,
I couldn't afford to buy that, but I might think, well, I could save up for it, and it's something I could buy further down the line, maybe when I've got the money. But we're always going to show a range of kits on a range of prices, because other people, you know, people have different tastes.
Yeah.
So we like to show a lot of different things.
Moving on to the next one. I think the next one's an aircraft as well. This is the Trumpeter 132nd kit.
Yeah.
I know we spoke about this a few weeks ago, but fantastic aircraft this. Yeah, you only need to say it to somebody, what's the aircraft called that goes
and everybody knew what it was.
Everybody knew. This is the Thunderbolt A10. This is the Trumpeter kit. Once again, a little bit expensive.
I think everybody's built one of these, haven't they, at some point?
Yeah, they must have done. Or if they haven't, they know about them.
Yeah.
So yeah, apparently they say by the time you've heard this aircraft, it's too late.
Yes. If you're a target of this aircraft, you won't hear it coming.
Yeah.
Because you won't hear it at all.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if there's any photographs of this one. No, there's no photographs of this one. But yeah, 132nd again. So going to be a nice size model, nice to sit on your bench. Lots of super detail from Trumpeter as well, no doubt.
In the language of war, the A10 says only one word, and that word is and that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
So it always has the last word, and the word is
yeah. So yeah, you've got yeah. If you talk American, you've got to talk about the A10. So right, the next one. Yeah, a little bit down in price, a bit more pocket money range for people. And once again, a Tamiya kit, but you can't do a Watts from America without a Sherman tank.
Yeah, you got to do a Sherman in there, haven't you?
Everybody must have built. Yeah, I'm sure everybody must have built a Sherman tank.
Everybody in the world has built a Sherman. Even somebody that's never built a Sherman has built a Sherman. They just
you built one without even knowing you built one, because
you built one in your sleep.
Yeah. So yeah, and there's no shortage of information out there about a Sherman tank. So yeah, you can build the basics and build it the type you want, and there will be somewhere out there that will really be an off-the-wall type design or paint scheme or theatre or type. And no doubt there are some Edward parts extra.
Oh, almost pretty much.
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah, nobody's doing. No doubt somebody out there is doing extra detail sets for for a Sherman tank. Yeah. So that's all.
Just going back to the A10 Thunderbolt, the A10 Warthog. Adrian David says the A10, the pilot sits in the 35-inch armored bathtub. Did you also know that the actual gun in the A10 is bigger than a Volkswagen Beetle?
Yeah, apparently
the magazine is bigger than the Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah, apparently the pilot's cockpit, his bathtub, is set off to one side because of the length of the gun.
Yep, and did you know when they fire the gun, even though it just goes and that's it, the plane actually goes backwards?
It stops.
It actually pitches backwards a little bit.
So.
There is a photograph on the internet. Just look up a photograph of A10 gun Volkswagen. You'll see it. There's a Volkswagen parked next to a trailer with the gun on the back, and this gun is enormous. It's basically a gun with wings. Let's just be honest.
That's all it is. Yeah, it's just a flying gun.
Yes. Whereas the Sherman was basically an oven on wheels. So
yeah. So there's one a bit more pocket money price for some of you. 148 scale. You can buy a Sherman in every scale.
Yeah, so you could fit that into your tabletop wargaming army as well.
Yeah, so 148 scale US medium M4A1 Sherman. Right, what are we on this time? New in store. I know that some of you have seen this. If you could see it for the menu, yeah, this is new in from Meng. It's the M911C Het 8x6. It's an M747 heavy equipment I would have said semi, but it's semi trailer.
Yeah, it's American. It's semi
trailer from Meng. It looks. I actually like this. Like the look of this. It looks really good. Let's do some bigger pictures for you.
What scale is it again?
1/35 scale.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's going to be a big beast.
Yeah, it's very big.
It's going to take some building as well. Utility type truck. Not a lot of people would sort of be into this sort of thing because they just want to build the big romantic guns and tanks and aircraft and things like that. And not a lot of people will build auxiliary vehicles. But if you want to get your tanks in a battle, this is one of the trucks that's going to do it. So, a big box of kit. Lots of information. Meng are quite a reputable company. Shouldn't be any problems with that.
You can expect a lot of tiny parts.
Yeah. So,
like tack on, there'll be lots of little tiny parts.
Yeah, there's going to be some nice photo etch in that box as well. Yeah. So we'll have a look, see what it says about it in a moment. There is huge box. I think we're going to see a fair bit of this truck. I think a few people are going to pick up on this one, and we'll build it. We'll probably see a few photographs appearing on Facebook and at Telford. So there's the huge picture of it. Let's have a look, see if there's anything in the description about it. Many people are crazy about the rugged look. Strong cross-country capability. It says Russian. Oh
no, it's crazy about Russian. But
Dazda says it looks like an Oshkosh. It's got that kind of giant Oshkosh look. Like an Oshkosh truck. It mentions the heavy Russian cross-country trucks. However, the most outstanding heavy trucks are from the US. You see these heavy trucks carrying tons of goods. The Americans do have some huge road trains out there, don't they? It is an Oshkosh. Is it?
Oshkosh released the M911 heavy tractor. It can haul the M74 semi-trailer for road transport of heavy equipment. Yeah, so there you are. So whoever said, the guy that said it was an Oshkosh, he was right. Yeah, it does look like. So that's that one. So it's got all the details. 843 parts, complete carbon power system interior. Some of the wheels are connected by metal axles. Trailer loading ramps are movable. Wheels can be made in steering position. Precision photo etch parts, reflective foil and mask stickers for the cab windows. Everything that you need.
Mike Mountain says, that's me in then, Ted.
All right. Yes, yeah. If you built the Oshkosh MR multiple, if you built the Oshkosh Jeep, you've got to build one of these.
How many parts were in that Oshkosh? It wasn't a big complex kit.
It wasn't a big complex kit. No, it was the Oshkosh Land Rover, for want of a better thing, mine resistant, ambush protected vehicle. Is a good starter kit. If you want to start building bigger kits, 1/16, get the Oshkosh. That'll introduce you to it wonderfully. Yeah, but that's
this thing here with 800 odd parts. That's about the same number of parts as the old 5 molds Millennium Falcon. So
a cracking kit. It's going to be a big impact on your bench. That we realise there it's a little bit out of some people's pocket money range, but you're looking for I always equate the price of a kit to the amount of time it's going to take you to build it. This one would take you what? You could build this in 3 standard kit lengths. So the time it takes you to build 3 standard kits, I would say you could have this built.
The description down there said it was nearly 2 foot long.
Yeah, it's not small.
Yeah, it's not small. Yeah, it's going to take a bit of space on the bench. So that's it. The 1/32nd scale. Now, obviously, if you have built that and you've built the trailer, you're going to want a tank to pour it on. So what could be better than the M1A2 Abrams?
You nearly said Abrams.
I nearly said Abrams. I was going to say Abrams. Yeah.
I'm waiting for it to put an H at the beginning as well.
Yeah. You could build an Abrams tank to go on the back of it. Why not? And this is the Mengs 135th main battle tank, the M1A2. Nice bit of kit. It's reactive armor. Is that reactive armor on the sides? Is there any pictures of this one? I'm sure there is. Let's have a look at that.
Osric 9000 says he has a Mengs Smirch, and that took him about 3 months.
Yeah.
That's the thing with those kind of more prestige kind of kits, the more expensive kits, is they're more long-term projects than some of the smaller kits. They're kind of dream kits.
Mm-hmm. It's like the U-boat I'm building now. People say, "Oh, well, it's a little bit expensive" and things like that. But if you look at all the compartments in this, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 compartments, then the outside the hull, the back of the hull, 6, 7. You're looking at about 8 kits. The conning tower. So it's about an 8 kit. It's about an 8 kit model. So, and the compartments on this are a kit in themselves. So it's a matter of, should we spend the money on 8 kits, or should we spend it on 1 kit and spend 8? Spend the length of time doing it. But yeah, that's it. Let's have a look, see if there's any more pictures of this one. We're looking at lots of stuff on it. Rotatable commander's machine gun. I'm just reading these out if the people can't maybe see it because they're on small screen. Details integrated on the chassis. Rotatable commander's independent thermal viewer. It's got all the bells and gongs on this.
Where?
All hatches are movable.
You're movable.
Movable. Yeah. If it moves, don't glue it. Close-up partner. Right, just more production photos. Yeah. So that's the M1A2 Abrams. Not Abram. We all coming from not Father Abrams, but Abrams.
I have to say, I much prefer vintage tanks to modern tanks. Modern tanks are like modern battleships. They're kind of a bit flat. Compared to like old tanks, which have chunks and lumps and bumps and things that stick out.
Yeah, I think it's just the way tanks have developed. Obviously, the lower profile you can produce in a tank.
It's like modern, it's like you get modern like not battleships, but you get modern marine. Well, let's say battleships, for want of a better word. And they're always they're just the modern ones, like the radar dark ones, are like they're just boxes. and there's nothing to them.
Well, it's sort of the same as cars, isn't it? I mean, modern cars are all very similar, whereas old cars used to be wildly different shapes and stuff.
Yeah, I suppose.
They make them there's one design that's not perfect, but as perfect as it gets.
Yeah,
aerodynamic and everything. So, yeah.
So there we are. That's what's in store. And remember, if you've seen anything you like tonight and you are interested in it, get it slapped in your basket, because often we'll show these things and they go out because people catch up on this tomorrow in the morning, overnight for those that are on night shift or day shift or whatever, and there's a fair chance that they could sell out. So if you're interested, get it in your basket.
Yeah, don't hang around.
Don't hang around.
We don't know if eModels have got like 1 in stock or 12 in stock or 3. So it's not. It wouldn't be the first time. You know, it's quite often that people say to us, "Yeah, you've sold all of the stock in like 5 minutes after you show them on telly." So
yeah. So
in.
Yes.
Adrian David asked, "Why was a tank called a tank?"
Right, I think I know this one.
Oh, you're going to set him off now. He's gone into James May mode now.
Wasn't it because in the First World War that they shipped the parts or they shipped vehicles over to France in crates, and to disguise them they just put water tank on it or something like that?
He says the first person to drive one was called Fish.
A couple of people have said they were shipped in tanks. Tony Black says because it was originally shipped to France in World War I, marked as tank, because nobody knew what that was. And somebody else says, who said something similar? Timur Bovington said water tank. It was a code name, Adrian.
Yeah, it was something. Yeah, something like that. The shapes of tanks have developed over time, and they've developed into the shape they are now. The lower profile they can get, the better.
Griff MJ says no, they were made by a boiler company in Bolton.
They were actually. I can't think of the name of them. They were developed in the Northwest.
It was used by the Landship Committee to disguise its real purpose, says Tim Bix. Smooth says it was to do with secrecy peeps building them, etc., etc. Yeah.
I think in is there I think there's a pub in Manchester somewhere that has a plaque or a room dedicated to the first tank. I think the Landship Committee or whoever they were, a group of guys met in the back room of a pub, and they came up with the invention of the tank.
Again, we're back to British engineering. It's stuff dreamed up in pubs and done in sheds. That's how it works. That's how British engineering works.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's good. Right. It's a bit of a time for a giveaway, I guess. Are we on to?
We've got to do last week's giveaway, yeah.
Oh, we've got to do last week's giveaway. Hang on.
I'm always here to remind you, Ted.
Yeah, that's it. I must write things down, but then again, I'd lose the paper.
Wasn't there something I had to remind you about last week? I had to remind someone something. I don't remember what it was.
Michael Jackman says, I'm glad because I think tank is a lot better than land ship. Yeah, land ship just has pants.
It needs sails to be a land ship, doesn't it?
Well, again, if they'd just written land ship all over the storage crates, it wouldn't have given anything away to the Germans because they wouldn't have known what a land ship was either. So,
yeah, but there was certainly a quick rush by the Germans to build their own thing, weren't there? They just slapped 4 pieces of, 6 pieces of tin together and made a big box.
Yeah. They're not that far off the original then.
Yeah.
Yes, are we doing last week's giveaway?
I'll do. Yeah, I'll go and get that. Right, I've got to do a screen share. I guess I'll lock it on me. Do a screen share. Share the screen.
Sharing.
Go across. Yeah.
Last week because we like to.
Last week's giveaway was the light seal support craft, similar to a pibber. A pibber that the Americans used around the Vietnam War.
What does pibber mean, Ted?
A pibber, patrol boat river, something like that. And we had a question that anybody could answer that watched the show, wasn't in chat, so they could come along later on and still have a go at winning a prize. And the question last week was to give one of this boat a name. Have we got some suggestions on names? The question was that the idea was that we just asked for some names, and it was you commenting, not the name that was the winner. So it was a person who commented with a suggestion. So do we have a couple of names that did come up?
We certainly can.
Yeah.
Again, yes, we didn't go for the funniest name. We just, as always, we picked a comment with the random comment picker. But some entries were Lord Barkley III Toomey said SS Soggy Bottom. Jason Smith said Pete makes weekend runaround.
Yeah. Oh, it's a bit big for Pete. Yeah.
Smooth says Smoo Industries floaty on water device Mark 1 version 2C.
Yeah. That's a good. Yeah, that would be a good British way of naming something, wouldn't it?
David Fox said Hairy Boatface even. King Arbor Pendragon said Pibber. I like the word Pibber.
Yeah, Pibber.
Andy B67 said Ted Tannick. Unsinkable 2 said Lord Barkley again. The mud. What's this one? LSCC Lemon Shiny Sailing Cart says Gaz Wilcox.
Oh, LSCC.
LSSC. Sorry.
I get it.
Ickle Pete says Skipper Ted's Floating Gin Palace.
Oh,
That's
gin.
a real thing. That's a real thing. You shouldn't.
Yeah, that's gin. Yeah.
Seymour Bobbington says USMC. It's a tiger, man. Never get out of the boat. Never.
You think I'm going in that water?
Yeah. Dave Weiserunga Barker says HMS Damn the Torpedoes. Oh, LSSC Louisiana Swamp Shrimping Craft.
Oh, wow.
Joanna Hammond. If I guess correctly, the key ingredients in all the listed generic supplies for removing paint will be ammonia. That's a real mouthful for a name on a boat.
You need to spray every to get it on the side.
Matty's Metal Detecting South Wales says sea cret hide away. It's all in the spelling. Sea as in sea, cret hide, and then away as in away, anchors away. You have to read it. It works when you read it. Fiddlehead said peanut butter and nam. I like that.
Oh, yeah. Good play on words. Yeah. Brilliant.
Peanut butter and nam. It was used in like the Vietnam War and stuff. So,
right.
But the winner.
And the winner, yes.
The winner.
Yeah. As I say, we didn't pick it as the name was the winner. We picked it as the person who commented.
Yep. So it just picks a comment at random. So,
yeah, so the random name picked this week from the random name picker is Mud Guppy. Mud Guppy. Is that what you told me?
Mud Guppy, yeah.
Mud Guppy was the name, and it was by Gerard B. Yep, and he wins the Pibber that we've just had on screen. Yep. So Gerard B, if you do watch this, or you are with us, or you watch us on catch up, send us your details to ted@emodels.co.uk. I'll try and remember to put it in the description, but I can't always remember things.
Yes. Don't forget, of course, when you do send the email, make sure that you put in the email your name and address and also what you've won, so the guys at eModels know what to send you.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yes.
So congratulations for that. Yep. And don't forget, when you built it, let's see it. Shove it on the gallery. Have a look, and you could win another prize if somebody votes for it. And you get a 5-star review, and we pick it out as a winning entry to our monthly. I forgot what I was saying now. I'm running out of steam.
Ted.
I've gone. Yeah, actually, no. Each month we pick a winner from the gallery, and you could be a winner if you have a model in the gallery. Just go across the eModels page, upload a picture of one of your builds, and when people vote on it, when people give it a 5-star rating, each month, Ted, Fox, and I will go along.
And me.
Yeah, no Chris involved.
And Chris, and Tony.
And Tony, if we're lucky, yeah.
And Tony, if he's with us as well. Yep. We'll have a look, and we'll pick a winner, and you could win a prize. So
yep. It's emodels.co.uk/gallery.
Mike Mountain says someone topped Ted's gin up. No, he's had enough.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it's just because he's had too much now that he's starting to lose his words and slur them. And, yeah.
You could tell.
Put more water in it. Probably the best.
It's like one of them clockwork toys. Eventually, the spring runs out.
Somebody slipped in the non-alcoholic gin. It's all gone wrong.
Right. Yeah. So we're about to give, as we're giving stuff away. Before we do that, I have a question that's came in, and I did promise that I would answer it, or try and answer it for Dave. Dave, where's the rum gone Barker? Says.
Hang on, is this a question for the giveaway? Or is this?
No, this is a question.
Okay, I'll remind you to do the giveaway before you forget later on. Then.
Yeah. This is to give me a break till my brain catches up with what I'm saying. So yeah.
Never.
Yes. Dave says, Ted, what ratio would you thin Tamiya smoke to tint clear plastic parts? He's concerned the X20A may damage large clear parts like windscreens. So does he have a suggestion for thinning and smoke screening his clear parts? Yeah, correct. The X20 might damage it. One trick I have learned about or seen for tinting clear parts is to actually mix your smoke in varnish.
Yep, you can use. I've tried airbrushing Tamiya smoke thinned onto clear parts and it comes out lumpy.
Yeah, it does.
You're supposed to be able to spray it onto clear parts, but I've never been able to do it. You can actually, if you've got some Pledge floor care finish 2 times more shine, or any of the AK Interactive gauzy, not gauzy, but the stuff that's designed for dipping canopies in, you can actually add colour to your gloss varnish if you can dip into it, especially if it's the Pledge or anything like that. You can add food colouring, bizarrely, or you could add a little tiny bit of Tamiya smoke. But you can add food colouring or Tamiya smoke or ink, a tiny amount of ink to gloss varnish, and it'll add a slight tint to the gloss varnish. I've seen somebody do an orange canopy by adding a tiny amount of orange food colouring to Pledge floor care finish 2 times more shine and dipping it in, and it just gives it a tint. I've tried airbrushing smoke on clear parts. It just came out like ass.
It doesn't work. No, I tried it on that Oshkosh. I tried spraying to be a smoker. It just actually goes on like paint.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you could try. You could mix the smoke into some Pledge. I can't remember what the AK Interactive is. It AK Interactive that do the gauzy stuff. That's their spray on gloss varnish. They also do another one. I can't remember what it's called, which is designed in a big pot for dipping parts in. I can't remember what it's called. Or your gloss varnish of choice if you can dip things into it. You could add some smoke to that and do it a try on a spare part. It might work just as well. You can add paint to Pledge, so give it a try.
Right. Yeah, good.
There's also Ammo by MIG do a smoke colour. It's a clear crystal smoke colour, so you can add a bit of that to some gloss varnish.
Well,
I don't know if AK do one. You can also use like inks as well. If you get a brownie, kind of a brownie bluey colour, and just to put a tiny dot in, that would kind of be the same kind of thing as an ink.
Yep, yeah, lots of suggestions come up in the chat, as we know that you guys would always come up with your answers as well, because you probably know more than we do.
And I say I've tried using smoke, but then one trick might be to actually apply the smoke on the inside of the clear part.
Adrian David just says that. Use smoke on the inside of the clear part.
Yeah, I never actually tried that, but that will give you a nice smooth finish because you're looking from the outside. That's one way to do it. In which case, I just thinned it down to...
Yes,
percentage-wise, I do it by eye. I couldn't tell you, but it's quite thin. It was like a real thin, mostly thinner.
Smooth says the X28 doesn't actually affect clear parts, so there you go. Cool. Give it a go. Right. So we've answered that one. Now, time to give away.
Yes, let's give something away.
I'm looking a sticker. Right, I've got
we haven't got questions.
I've got quite a few questions in this week, so apologies if I don't read your question out, because I did promise Scott that I would read his question out because it came in last week, and I forgot to do it.
Do remember, if we read your question answer out, first of all, we don't fact check the answer. We take the person who sends us the question that they know what the answer is. So if the answer is wrong to the question, don't blame us. We don't research it. Second of all, we will send the person who sends the question. If we read the question out, we'll send them a sticker.
Yeah.
On the question read out, send Ted an email.
Yeah. On the mention of stickers, I do apologise. I haven't sent some stickers out this last week because I've been ultra busy with houses and things like that, and buyers and solicitors and other people wanting my time. I'm filming for eModels, so yeah, I'll get them out as soon as I get around to it. I'll probably send them all out in a batch. Get another week in, and I'll send them all out in a batch. So yeah, they will come. They will get there. Yeah. So
you can send them all out to one person, just with the other people's addresses and
stuff. I could maybe do one of them circular letters. I could include all the envelopes in. Yeah, you get your envelope, you get your sticker out, you send the envelope to the next person who sends it on and sends it on. That way you could get to know everybody.
That's a pyramid scheme. That's illegal.
Yeah, you could include a little note to the next person that you're sending your sticker to, and get to know everybody, become best of friends. And it only cost me one stamp.
Yeah, Now, for anybody who's new to this, who's not been in the chat before, dead simple. We'll do different giveaways. We do a proper kit giveaway, which is open to everybody, but the mugs and the stickers we just do for people in the live chat. So if you're watching on eModels website, like I said before, emodels.co.uk/live. If you're watching there, you haven't got the chat. So click on the little YouTube icon in the bottom right of the player, and you'll come to the YouTube page where you can actually see the live chat. We'll ask a question. We'll ask the chat a question. And then we'll just pick the first person that answers that correctly. As always, we see the chat differently to you guys. We see the order that chat was actually typed in, whereas you see the chat prioritized to yourself. So there is lag in there. We can't do anything about that, but we will see the actual first answer that was received at YouTube's headquarters. So we'll go for the first one. If you've already got a mug or a sticker, you're more than welcome to have a go, and you can have another one. It's not a problem. But if you've already got one, you don't want another one, don't answer the question. Give somebody else a chance. But if you want another mug or another sticker, do feel free. You're more than happy to have many, many stickers and mugs.
Many stickers, sure.
And stop answering the questions now. He hasn't said net go yet, so don't answer the question yet. A lot of answers appearing already. We don't even know what the question is.
Because we might leave a gap, or we might do a bit of a bait and switch on you. But we also leave a bit of a gap just to allow for lag. Somebody is asking about my stickers, but I don't do my stickers on the eModels show, so we'll move away from that.
Yeah, there are other places for obtaining Fox's stickers.
Yes, but this is eModel stickers.
And Chris's
so what are we giving away first, Ted?
We're giving away, this is quite a good question, so we're giving away a mug.
eModels mug.
An eModels mug. eModels.
Or gin storage device in Ted's case, or gin transfer device, let's be honest.
Crocodile
it will be more colourful than the one on my monitor. Yeah, it will be a better shade of green than this one. This question was sent in last week, and it was sent in from Scott Sutherland, all the way up there in Orkney.
Yes, he's not with us tonight, I don't think, is he?
I haven't seen him, no.
Isn't it? All right, somebody phone him up. Yeah. Who being in
He's Lord of the Puffins, because he sends them all out.
Yeah.
All the puffins we've got, apart from Odo here, have all come from Scott.
Mm-hmm.
He started it.
Yeah. Odo, I've got Seagard. He sits there.
Who have you got, Chris? You've got, is it Paul? You got Paul the Puffin, which is actually an Orcadian Norse name.
It's Paul Heckelson or something.
Yeah. Paul McAxe Blood Kill Hammer Storm.
Scott's not feeling well, so Terry's apologised on his behalf.
Oh, right. Oh, well. If you are watching and just not joining in, Scott, hope you're feeling better soon. Or if you're watching on catch up, hope you are better.
Just go and be sick, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Now then, it could be a bit of a hint there, because Scott lives in Orkney, which is near Scapa Flow.
Scapa Flow.
It's
also near Skara Brae.
Yeah. And now then, as we're building U-boats and things here, it came up with quite a topical question, because you may remember in Scapa Flow, U-47 sneaked its way into Scapa Flow and had quite a successful raid, sinking a few ships in there, one being, I believe it was the Royal Oak. However, the skipper of the U-47 was given a particular name. I don't want his name, I want his nickname. So I want the nickname of the skipper of U-47. Go. Now you either know it.
I've got no idea, but we'll give a few seconds for Googling.
Yeah. You either know it or you have to Google it. Yeah. So what was the nickname given to the commander of U-47 after his successful raid on Scapa Flow?
Smooth says Space Marine. Seymour Bobbington says German Bob.
German Bob.
Puffin.
Yeah.
Says Raging Bassist. Swordfish says Jamie Bone.
No. There it is, Michael Jackerman.
The Bull of Scapa Flow.
Yeah, the Bull of Scapa Flow. That'll do. Yeah, well done to Michael Jackerman.
He just like barreled through there and just carried on. And
yeah, well done.
Tim Bick says the baby eating bishop of Bath and Wells.
Baby
eating bishop of Bath and Wells.
Lord Barclay III says Sneaky Eric.
Yes.
Well done. Well done to Michael Jackerman. Yeah, just drop me an email, ted@emodels.co.uk. Just include that you've won the mug this week.
Yeah, we've got the address anyway. So
the mugs do usually get delivered a little bit quicker than I can deliver stickers. Yeah,
because they're sent from eModels.
Yeah.
The Ted stickers are sent from Ted.
Yeah, via a post office. It's a very long way away.
Each one individually licked by Ted himself.
Yeah.
What, sticker or the stamp?
Yes.
Yes. Ew.
Right.
Well done. Right, next mug.
Right, the next one, we'll give away a sticker.
Seymour Bobbington says he's so disappointed it's not just German Bob.
Yeah. Dieter.
Carl Whitfield says, "De Stier von Scapperflow."
De Stier. Oh, yeah, good that one.
I guess that's the Scapperflow.
Yeah, I'll do.
Is this for a mug?
This is for a sticker.
That was a mug. That was a mug. Okay, cool.
This is for one of the super shiny large.
Having it large.
eModels stickers. That's my instructions. eModel stickers, and if I've got any left, I'll include an enamel one as well.
Yes.
Right. Another one for Adrian David. From Adrian David.
David.
I know that I do owe him a sticker, so I can get double bubble for this one. I can include two stickers. I can include 2 stickers in one envelope. Yeah. Right. Adrian David says Ayrton Senna, fantastic racing driver. Yeah, hang on, I've lost that. Yeah, Ayrton Senna was a fantastic racing driver. His date of birth was irrelevant, really, because I'm asking what year did Rice Krispies produce Rice Krispies?
What did they invent them?
Kellogg's Rice Krispies. What year was this cereal released to the public?
I like that bait and switch there.
Yeah, so you got to go. Yeah, so yeah, you got to be careful. Yeah.
1967.
No.
Tuppence, Mackle.
No.
1962, 1953, 1966.
Yeah.
No, another one that you're probably going to have to Google.
54, 53, 63, 25, 39.
Wall bangers.
42, John Bennett says. I think it might be 1942, but...
No. There we go. Phil Kett, 1928. Must have been quick on Google. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Phil Kett wins the Adrian David's question of what year did Kellogg's release Rice Krispies?
Mike Mountain says 1066.
Yeah, isn't Rice Krispies? Isn't Rice Krispies? I've seen a video on YouTube. Is what the council fill holes in roads with now.
Yeah.
Radian Basis says quite a lot BC, but I can't figure out how many zeros there are. So yeah,
500
million.
to 12 million. I think that comes out as
500 million something. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, Adrian, I do have.
Throw to you there, Ted.
Yeah. So, I need gin.
His gin gland is running dry.
Yeah, like a camel. I've got a hump on my back that's full of gin.
He actually extracts all his sugars and energies from gin. Normal food and water doesn't work for him.
Yeah, Adrian, David, I do have your address already, and I will. Yeah, I'll slip a few stickers.
He says he's craving stickers, so
in a sticker. You can hold the rest of your car together with the rest of them. You could have a line going right round. It'll stop the top splitting away from the bottom. Right. It's actually 3 minutes past 11. Have we got? Oh, we're doing a giveaway, aren't we?
You haven't done any giveaway yet.
We haven't done the giveaway yet. Right.
Giveaway.
Official giveaway.
Hang on. Have I got anything left over? Closed all the windows.
Oh God! Don't say that.
Yeah. All right. No, I have got it left. Yeah. Right.
I can't remember what it was. So
didn't press that button.
Right.
Oh, where's that button?
Come back to me. Right. Lock it on me. We haven't thought of a question to go with this yet, have we?
Not thought of a question yet. Oh no, we know what the question was. I'll remember it. I'll ask it.
All right, you ask it. Right. Right. I'll do a screen share. I'll press the right button there, and this is the prize we're giving away this week. We've been talking about America, so it's the cracking warship Lexington.
Warship menu.
Warship, it's a cracking warship menu. Yeah, it just shows how useful that menu is. Model warship, the aircraft carrier Lexington. Yeah, it's actually the main Toon warship. Yeah, I know we gave one of these away before, but we thought we'd do one again. So a lovely little kit, lots of details on it, lots of fun, little fun build. Got all the aircraft.
It looks sweet. It looks adorable, doesn't it?
It's gorgeous.
I love those Toon kits. They're absolutely adorable.
So there we go.
You get little egg planes with it.
Yeah, you get little egg planes with it as well. Waterline and full hull options available. 3 types of aircraft provided. Detachable elevator cover, press fit assembly. Yeah, because these things push together, don't they?
Yeah,
no
they're
glue.
Not particularly.
No glue required. Yeah. So hopefully the winner will have some fun with that, and we'll see a picture of it as well. So the question we've got for this week is going to be asked in a moment by Fox.
Yes.
What you need to do, don't comment in the chat now. If you're new to this, don't comment in the chat. What you need to do is wait a few minutes until after the show. When it's rendered up on YouTube, go into the comments below the video, and you can win by making a comment like this. Go on, what?
Yes. All we need to do is, earlier on, we showed an A10. I keep saying A10 Thunderbolt, but it's an A10 Warthog. They're basically a gun with wings, the plane. And what I want you to do is write down the noise that the A10 makes when it fires its gun. I want you to write down how you think that would be written down. All you have to write down is
we will test them all out and see which one sounds the best.
Yeah. Well, we'll just pick one at random.
Oh, we'll pick a random one.
Well, then we might have to read them all out next week, and it'll be 10 minutes of. So yes,
next week on the eModel show, we will be making the sound of the Warthog.
Of course, if I've eaten that chili sauce that's 12 million Scovilles, then I might be making that noise anyway. So yeah. So all you have to do is write down a comment on the video, like Ted says. Give it 10 minutes after the stream is finished. Go onto the YouTube channel, find this week's video, put your comment on there. We won't draw them until next Monday's show, so this just gives everybody who's not in the chat tonight, or who doesn't watch the show live, a chance to enter and win. And we'll send you that adorbs little Lexington. That's so cute. Yeah. Tiny miniature egg planes as well.
Yeah. And obviously, these things, we don't know how many of these eModels have got in stock. So if it is out of stock, we'll probably send something along as well. We'll probably send something along.
Something similar.
We always forget to say, we never actually made that clear, but when we pick a prize to give away, basically we'll pick it 5 minutes before the show. So, in most cases, and when we do that, of course, we haven't checked with Pete that he's got like 12 of them in stock. And what we find is that when we start to say this is going to be given away, people go and buy them. So if the unlikely event that you do win next week and everybody's actually gone and bought them, they'll just send you something very similar. So don't panic too much.
Yeah. Good. Great. Right. I think it's about time to wrap things up.
You sure you've not forgotten anything?
What have I forgotten now?
Nothing. I'm just checking. I'm just making sure because I've forgotten if you've forgotten.
Let's get a habit now. And what will Ted forget this week?
What have we forgotten today? Well,
anyone in chat thinks we've forgotten anything, shout now because we're going in a minute.
Yeah, it's like going to school, isn't it? Have you got everything in your bag? Yes, ma'am. Have you got your books? Yes, ma'am. Have you got your pens? Yes, ma'am. Have you got your rubber?
Have you got your math set?
Got your homework? I haven't done my homework yet.
Did you turn the cat off and put the gas out?
Have you remembered it's Sunday? I don't have to.
You turn the chicken off.
Yeah, everyone in chat's going, so bye everybody that's going.
As we say what they're getting for free, they'll go. I understand that.
On that note, as I'm not getting anything for free, it's time to wrap up, I think, because we've done everything. We've chatted about everything. We've chatted about lots of things tonight, and it's been great fun.
About everything except model making, basically. We answered like
some models. There was models. I noticed. Yeah.
Tim Bix is tempting us there. We're going back to the 80s, 90s, and talking about FS1Es or fizzers.
Yeah, I noticed a few questions earlier on about talking about the 80s, trying to get us reeled in.
Get us going. But 1 week, 1 week they'll catch us, and we'll sort of fall into it. So, time to go. Anyway, time to go. Thank you for joining us this week again on the eModels live stream. I think that's what it was anyway.
Ooh,
and
Monday night, Ted.
Monday. You got the little sign, Monday night.
Yeah. You got a sticker set so it says not Sunday.
Yeah, I have actually.
Sprue says, before I go, Sally James Fox.
Yes, on that note, it's good night from all of us here at eModels. Good night, everybody. Good night. If Sally James is watching, good night.
Yes, and you should get that t-shirt tried out, really. Actually, you shouldn't.
Yeah, good night.